you alone. Yeah, get out of my zone, man. Cause now you alone. Love, get out of my zone. Nah, cause they don't want it with me. Love, you gotta cry with me. Love, cause y'all don't want it with me. If you start a fire with me, then you're never gonna stop me. Nah, cause they don't want it with me. Love, you gotta cry with me. Love, cause y'all don't want it with me. If you start a fire with me, then you're never gonna stop me.
Here we go. Back again, same scenario. Win, 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 win. Yeah, we on a roll. Yeah, 2, 4, 6. We like 10 and 0. I should probably tell them something that they didn't know. Back then, we was down with nowhere to go. Shit, might have been down, but we didn't fall. Now we running it like some intervals. Ooh, what now? Tell me who you see when you look straight up. Like, wait, who? Us now. What you gonna do when we pull up on you? Like, ooh, touchdown. You already know what it is when I come through you. Ooh, shut down. Say, ooh, shut down. Say, ooh, what now? Tell me who you see when you look straight up. Like, wait, who? Us now. What you gonna do when we pull up on you? Like, ooh, touchdown. You already know what it is when we come through you. Ooh, shut down. Say, ooh. Won't stop going till a player on top know it. Rooftop, penthouse suite. If you really want it, gotta own it. Fight through it, we was at the lowest. Blood, sweat, tears, the components. Riding all year, now's the moment. We are not friends, we are opponents. Yeah, I'm coming for mine. Yeah, I'm making a play, the game on the line. Yeah, I've been on the grind. Yeah, I jump in the spot, I made it my time. Yeah, look in the sky. Yeah, the stars align, no shade to shine. Can't stop it already. Emotional work and devotion. We put in this time. Look. You won't stop my stride. I'll just break your line. I don't tolerate wasted time. Take us down. Keep fighting.
The Snapdragon Pro Series is brought to you by Snapdragon Elite Gaming, Monster Energy.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Snapdragon Pro Series, where we bring you guys Free Fire Day number 2 here of the group stage. My name is Victor Cax. Joining me here is the Masaccio. We're going to be your commentators for today as we run through day number 2 here. So, how are you doing, my man?
I am fantastic, and today is the day where I get what I've been looking for, Victor. Yesterday, the question was, yes, Blacklist International can have breakout runs against a couple of groups, but can they get the same done against Group A? We get to see that showdown today, because yesterday was a historic moment for Blacklist International, because as they broke out, they hit 39 points, Victor, which was absolutely crazy. But there has been a little bit of a adjustment, though.
Oh, yeah.
They have converted to AKO. So Blacklist International, they are no more. Auto Knockout is the team name that they carry forth. But I think they are ready to knock out a couple of more teams.
Oh, for sure. I mean, this is exciting news, actually, for a team that's so new, made a huge splash yesterday, and then now being picked up here, having a new name, a new sense of direction, let's put it that way, for these boys. And I'm going to be really excited to see whether or not to be able to continue things, because obviously today it's going to be a slightly different day today, because for groups, yesterday we saw most of groups B and C having the majority of the matches being played yesterday itself. Today is going to be the chance for those in groups A and D to start to catch things up.
The point system for the competition is, as always, you get the booyah, you get 12 points. You get the second place, there's 3 points lesser, just 9 for you. Each and every single position below that, you minus off 1 point. That's exactly what you will be able to get, but only up up to the 10th place, which gets you a single placement point. 11th and 12th place. If you are the first two teams to get taken out of the equation, you get no placement points at all. But the way you can buffer yourself up is by eliminating your opponents. Each and every single elimination gets you 1 point.
And we saw how important those kill points were, right? They practically shot Blacklist all the way to the top just from how aggressive they were in their opening games here. And speaking of opening games, we're going to be back to Bermuda and Kalahari today, but the group setups are going to be different today. So we're going to be starting off with groups A and D together, and then followed by that, we'll be having groups A and C. And then after that, will be B and D going up against each other.
Once again, the highlight for me personally is Group A going up versus Group C, because Group A has got the lineup of titans. We've got AB Radicals, Farang, Revenge, Axis Esports, GeekFam, and Pando EWG. Group C, we just need to talk about one team. That is Blacklist International. But I know Quick Reactions is quite annoyed, right? Because they're like, Mustachio, can you talk about us as well? Because they were the team that managed to catch up with Blacklist yesterday.
That's the thing. They really put a spirited performance towards the end of day number 1. So hopefully today we'll be seeing a lot more of them, especially when it comes to their specific matches. But for now, though, the big question is that Blacklist, or rather Auto Knockout as they're now known, are they going to be able to keep that streak going, or is somebody else going to be able to step up to the plate?
This is Group D as well as Group A. Group D with a lineup of No Escape RV, Team Juke, ORE X-Men, Freedom Rumble, NC, as well as ORV Tyrants.
Yep, and in Group A you have AB Radicals, Farang, Revenge, Axis Esports, GeekFam, and Pando EWG. Surely the powerhouses in this group here, and certainly with Group D, they're going to have a lot to work for in this particular couple matches.
And we did see a lot of the teams from Group D just struggle a little bit in the competition. I mean, you're talking about ORV X-Men over the number of games that they played yesterday, managed to only pick up 6 points for themselves. But the one team that managed to pretty much stand out a little bit is NC. We expected them to be on a breakout run, but it wasn't the case. Albeit, I mean, that being said, they only played 2 matches yesterday. So today is the true test to see if or not NC has managed to do or managed to kind of master some of the rotations as well as the strategies to dominate this competition. Because yesterday wasn't a bad start.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad start actually. The thing is that they will have hope to get a lot more points yesterday itself, because it definitely will make the rest of the days easier. But again, today is going to be the best chance for these teams here to start to catch up to the rest, especially those who are on top of their overall standing. So let's talk about these 3 teams right here: Farang, Axis Esports, and NC. We did see some of the actions yesterday, but what's your impressions about their performance so far?
So far, Farang has been a tad bit disappointing in terms of representatives for Malaysia at the Free Fire World Series last year, and the last World Series, and they, couldn't really live up to all of that expectation, right? They've kind of fallen off the face of dominance when it comes to Free Fire, but we are expecting them to spring up anytime, because we know that players have raw talent. It's just that this is just a downtime for them. I don't know whether or not it's a problem with the amount of hustle that they're putting into the competition, or it's just bad luck, man.
Sometimes, I mean, you cannot deny that sometimes luck may not be on your side, but that's the thing about competitions like this, is that you want to be able to train your own core abilities and your skills and your the communication you have on field to overcome that the luck that you may or may not get during the match itself. But nevertheless, though, especially for the Malaysian clubs, I really want to see them step up, because it's very competitive. When you talk about Free Fire, you got so many different regions competing. This one is kind of like a real true test of one's ability, when it comes to competitions like the Snapdragon Pro Series.
Speaking of NC, at the moment they are on the 14th spot. 13 placement points, 13 eliminations with a total of 26 so far, but only 2 games played. Today, they make their 4-match run, and we get to see if or not NC can maintain consistency, because in the first match that they played yesterday, they got the 3rd place, and the second match was the 6th place. You want to see consistency as long as they are, I guess, in the top half, which is the top 6. That's a decent enough run, I would have to say. If they can bring in the consistency, if you can just chip in about 10 points every single game, you're Gucci. They've got 26. They're doing slightly above average.
Yeah, here is the overall standings. Of course, Blacklist, aka Auto Knockout. Hopefully we'll be able to change that name now that they've completely rebranded.
Stop breaking their hearts.
I know, right? Yes, there we go. Auto Knockout having the bulk of the points from yesterday. They have a total of 74, so that's the benchmark. I think the teams in groups A and D will have to work on in order to meet. And of that regard, we're seeing teams like Bloody Hits, Farang, Expand. These teams, I think, will have a really good chance of challenging Auto Knockout for that top spot.
That I'll have to agree, right? Expand yesterday had, I believe, one of the most abysmal starts to the competition. But we saw that during the MCPS Major Season 4 as well. Expand is not a team that starts things off hot, mainly because these boys sometimes get in their own heads, right? That confidence builds up and turns into overconfidence, and overconfidence usually leads to a lack of preparation. They weren't prepared yesterday. One of their headphones were broken.
Aye.
They couldn't communicate. They bombed out the first 2 or 3 rounds only to make one solid run in there. But through a little bit of questionable performance on day number 1, they still managed to pick up 44 points. That is actually very impressive.
Again, it's a testament to the skill that the players themselves already inherently have. So hopefully that will help them carry forward into this competition here and make sure they get themselves up on the board. But speaking of which, when you look at the other side of the board there, Revenge, NC, ORV Tyrants, I think these guys do have a chance to try to get themselves a little bit up, but they really need to step up in terms of their performances today.
I mean, they've got only 4 days before we decide the top 12 who move on to the regionals, right? And you have to put each and every single day at the top of your priority. Every single match counts. Every single point that you pick up on the battlefield counts. Yes, you've got your option to revive your whole squad if things go south, but how many times are you going to be focusing on the revival option rather than the safe play option, right? Because every time you do get revived, yes, you've got a second breath of life, but you get back into that match with absolutely nothing on you. You've got no loots. You've got to start back from scratch, and you become a burden to your team. That's not the best of strategies.
Exactly. If you get eliminated, that's like time basically that you could spend on the map there to get better loot, to actually be a bigger presence on the map. It's just completely lost. You know, you're just at that point you're just going into recovery mode, trying to regain the ground you've already lost by that point. So again, having that really good start is very, very important. You cannot rely too much on the revives there to bring you back in the game. It's always going to be about whether or not you can actually continue to suppress all the others, and you can't do that when you're not on the map.
Then I'll have to agree, Victor. But you know, yesterday was just day number 1. So day number 1 jitters, day number 1 little boo-boos that have been made out there on the battlefield, I think will not be happening on day number 2. And if anybody is wondering why do I have a cute little stick on my finger, I had a little bit of a gardening accident. There's just blood oozing out of my finger. And you know, I wanted to take MC today, man. I wanted to say that I can't shoutcast, but I thought it wouldn't be enough of an excuse.
I mean, luckily you're not actually playing this game right now, because having a broken finger is going to be very hard for you to actually use your phone at the moment. So yeah, thankfully you're not actually in competition.
I'm just using my voice. The voice box is fine.
Exactly. The tools of the trade here for all of us here in the Snapdragon Pro Series. But yeah, we're going to be getting ready for that first match. It's going to be on Bermuda once more. I mean, having seen the games from yesterday, I'm going to be expecting different things to happen today as far as like strategy is concerned, because at least I think for most of the teams, yesterday is a very good opportunity for them to get to grips with what the different teams' plans or tactics are going to be. So I think like it's going to be fair to say that teams that are going to be able to not only get to grips with that, but adapt to these strategies here are going to have an advantage today, aren't they?
They most definitely are going to be, right? Because, you know, knowledge is power. And anybody that has done their homework will know a few different things to look out for. Mainly, if you are going up against Group A, you are going up against the kings of Free Fire right now for MSP, and that is AV Radicals themselves. Now, they might not look super supreme on the overall leaderboard thanks to their unfortunate performance yesterday, but the one thing that you do know is this team knows how to pop you and make you into kill points, right? They get the elimination points very easily. They're quite an aggressive team, but yesterday wasn't a great start. But the one thing that you want to do is make sure you avoid that blue zone, because every single time a match starts, and if AV Radical is there, they're going to be looking for that high tier loot. And every single time you drop on in there, you're potentially putting yourself into a 50-50 match against the ones who are going to represent the Philippines at the Free Fire World Series. The question is, do you want to make that bet so early in the competition, and do you want to take the risk?
See, it's that risk versus reward type of argument, isn't it? You know, you take the extra risk in the hopes that, you know, you're going to be rewarded with better loot that's going to help you in your
Correct.
battles against the other stronger teams.
Yeah.
So I think there's got to be a balance at some point.
Absolutely
You know, if
correct.
things don't work out for you, if you try to go for that risky strategy and it doesn't work out for you from the get-go, then I think it's time to fall back to something a little bit safer.
And you know, I'm not saying don't try it. I'm saying just be very wary of, once you do go ahead, don't repeat the exact same mistakes over and over. I mean, if you hot drop AV Radicals or any other team, as a matter of fact, if you know you can take control of that engagement and be the one who rises up on top, keep doing it. But if you've already gonna tapa one time round, don't keep running into the exact same fight over and over again. It's just not gonna go your way at the end of the day. And that's just exactly what some of these teams need to look out for on day number 2. Because we saw quite a number of hot drops yesterday, which should not be the case on day number 2.
Yeah, it shouldn't be the case at all. But in any case, speaking about tapaoing, if you think that some teams are going to be able to tapao a little bit more than others, go ahead and let us know inside the Twitch chat, because predictions are already live. So go ahead, vote for your favorite teams, the teams that you support, and hopefully we'll see whether or not those predictions do come to pass.
What's your prediction, though? Who do you think is going to dominate today, Victor? Because yesterday was a day of surprises. We expected AV Radicals as well as Expand to come out of the gates, you know, just absolutely busting through teams. But instead, they were the ones who were bombing out super early. I mean, I think one of those rounds, AV Radicals got taken out in the 12th spot, and following that, Expand got taken out in the 9th place. But do you expect these two Titans to make a strong comeback in here today?
Again, you have to look at their past performances, right? They have been traditionally a very, very strong team. So I'm still hopeful that they're going to be able to make things up. And I think today in particular, it's going to be a lot better, because remember, yesterday, those two squads only had 2 matches to really show themselves.
Absolutely,
So there's
man.
not really a lot of time, not a lot of data, so to speak, to really gauge their performances for this weekend. But nonetheless, ladies and gentlemen, we're now live on Bermuda. This is the first game of the day here. Teams have already dropped on. Let's see what is going to be their positioning. We already see a hot drop between Axis and one of the members of ORV. In fact, I think RV is already getting themselves in the mix here, getting some kills there. A new kill leader on the board there, so they're certainly putting in a lot of hurt onto their enemies.
Flight Path does not allow AV Radicals to get to that high tier loot zone, and instead they go in here to hot drop the one and only ORV. 2 players down on the ground already, Ritus as well as Ramiel. They need to get picked up right now, and it doesn't seem to be like there's anybody else within the vicinity to punish the players of AV Radicals. Revenge is just a stone's throw away, but Shah is going to keep all of them busy.
Wow, I mean, number 1 is actually separated from the rest of his team, and they actually found a straggler around the outside Void Face taken out of the game there, so maybe that is exactly what they need at this point, because that's going to put RV very much far down, with AV Radicals still having their full squad up to strength. Now, Tinamo going to go ahead and scout around his area, pick up some loot, but he's got to watch out, because I think there's Revenge that's around the corner, and they certainly don't want to bump into that, especially having just recovered from that last team fight.
And with the risky play of Tanamo, they should be able to surround the compound of the players of Umbrella. And it looks like Revenge might just be able to get that done right. They are trying to back away towards Bullseye ever so slowly. Tanamo has got his eyes on them, but I don't think he's going to be making that mistake of just rushing into that battle. Pando EWG, on the other hand, looks like they are going to be safe and comfortable. Axis Esports quite far away from all of the rest of the players. Seiya, on the other hand, for ORV, looks like he's going to be in a very, very difficult position in a few moments, Victor.
Maybe so. I mean, he's definitely scouting, and already he's been spotted, taking some damage there, and he's got to be very careful. Right now, Tyrants, they only have 2 members left, Seiya and Pong. They cannot afford to lose additional members, especially at this stage right now, because at least having a duo going around still allows them not only to collect information, but still have a potential to get the revives back. But with Geek Fam already very much hold up in this tower area, it's going to be a bit hard for them to get an attack. Tinado will in the meantime, getting some shots done from top there, but it's going to be Revenge actually putting the first knockdown onto them. Now they're trying to fight back here, and looking not too good here for AV Radicals. 2-1 is going to have to get down on the ground. ground there to help out his teammates. But unfortunately, they get themselves completely taken out now, so I think it's a little bit too late now. 2-1's going to have to peel out of this area post-haste.
Yeah, smart plays by Ritus here. Immediately buys back Wine, their best CQC player, and then he chooses to run away. Before doing that, if he had managed to jump away first and then revive someone, you are just going to be betting on probabilities there, right? So he takes the risk, buys back one player, flies away towards Observatory, but thankfully nobody's there. Wine joins him as well. AV Radicals, 4 eliminations, but 2 of their members are waiting to be brought back. Now, this is a team that we wanted to highlight from the start of the competition. They're called Revenge, but they used to be known as Orange Esports. And now this team has just been so tremendous from day number 1.
Yeah.
During MCPS Major Season 4, they were nothing in the competition. They really weren't trying at all in terms of dominating any of those rounds. But out here, yesterday they had a hot start. Today, they're off to a great start as well.
Exactly, the refresh and the rebrand certainly doing wonders to them right now as we see the other ORV team. And here's the Farang right now. Finally, we're getting to see them on the screens here. They're just going to be wandering onto Riverside, which actually isn't being held by any team in particular. So these guys just been going around gathering that loot. And look at that, 4 health packs. That's going to be a lot of value for them for sure. If there's a lot of tools for them to use in that area, it's right now Seiya finding himself in a tight spot here, gets knocked down. Pong, unfortunately, is not close enough to help him out, so unfortunately, he's going to be left out on the lurch there as Axis moves in to try to finish that one member of AV Radicals off.
Can we talk about how Ritu's just holding his own out there? The guy's on a solo mission, but now Axis Esports with the perfect opportunity to snuff out a strong player on the side of AV Radicals. Ritus has been spotted out. His head's sticking out. Will he get taken down? The glue wall is his saving grace for the time being. One good nade is not going to do much. Oh! Hits the second bounce, not cooked up just enough. Ritus, on the other hand, backs away, and Raph tries to take him down. Neptune, CQC, double barrel in hand, but the MAC-10 in the hands of Ritus, not enough as Raph shoots him down with the AC-80 from afar. Neptune was saved in that very moment.
Yeah, I mean, having that high ground there allows him to just basically keep him 2-1 suppressed the whole time, and Wine 1 unfortunately was not close enough to be able to bail out his teammate. Now he's going to have to play the solo game from this point on, so very, very terrible start right now for AV Radicals. I mean, they're just been... I can definitely see that teams will be targeting them a lot. I didn't expect it wouldn't be able to handle that kind of pressure.
At the end of the day, you're not looking for the #1 spot because this competition, the next 3 days, including today, does not offer you any bit of money at all. There's no prize pool attached to the qualifiers right now from the group stage. When you hit the regionals, there's still no prize pool just yet. The challenge here is to get yourself into the challenge season, no pun intended. That's exactly where all the moolah lies in wait. So how do you even get there? In order to get to the regionals, you just have to make sure you're in the top 12. Now, you don't have to reveal all of your strategies, Victor. So AV Radicals, to that point, is pretty much very safe in the competition. They just have to put out their mediocre performance, and they're still good.
The ORV now up against Juke, and Asa66 gets knocked down on the ground. The 2 members up on top are going to try to keep suppressing fire going on as quickly as it can. Unfortunately for them, ORV does have a lot of cover here thanks to this one little cabin. So the rest of ORV regrouping right now at Plantation. They still have the really big problem with the 2 guys up on the hills trying to figure things out.
Trying to figure things out, and I'm trying to figure out the audio. Plantation, ORV, 4-man squad. Nobody else to tease them just yet. Farang, on the other hand, breaks away. Juke has got a slight elevation advantage in comparison to Revenge, who are on the approach from the back. Axis Esports about to join the fray as well, and Geek Fam has barely made any noise whatsoever.
That's the thing, like, even though they've been a presence around, I've not seen even a single elimination done by them, so this could be a little bit of a setback for them in particular. Now, I wanted to highlight FRU just now because they actually made excursion over to Sentosa before the circle came up. I wonder if they actually picked up any good loot though, but it doesn't seem like they're going to be having any encounters anytime soon. Very far away from that circle, but in the middle of that circle, Juke already has a really good position because already having 2 guys set up on that hill means that they can definitely either keep suppressive fire on the other squads that are down on lower ground, but they also will be able to gather so much information about other teams trying to make their way to the circle right about now.
And you clearly see the pace difference in comparison to yesterday, right? Yesterday, yesterday we had many an engagement at Bermuda the moment the match started. Today, we are 8 minutes in and 12 teams still standing out there on the battlefield. Not a single squad has been taken down so far. Pando EWG, Jace helping Bonito out, but now he gets tagged up by the circle as well, but not enough to punish him. ORV still surviving in the back, trying to play the game of time to make sure that the revival platform brings in the rest of the team members. Axis Esports at Graveyard, they can put that final bullet in the coffin of the AB Radical squad. Question is, do they keep an eye on the revival platform? AB's already there, and Ramiel gets knocked down onto the ground, but that's a sign. AB Radicals is not out of the equation just yet.
Yeah, I mean, it's still certainly good news for them, but not so much for the fact that they still just conceding elimination points to the other teams.
Yeah.
And that's another factor to consider, right? Because the more, the worse off the AB Radical is, everyone else is going to get better and better in terms of the scores when it comes to that final leaderboard. Nevertheless, though, our RV at the moment still having a couple members still outside the blue zone, very far off, but look at that, EWG has a car so they can very easily get back into the safe zone, no problem whatsoever. Not so much for that member of RV, though. He's very much left on the lurch. He definitely would have heard the car move away, so we should know he's clear now. Should be rushing to get towards the safe zone, but look at how fast that circle is closing. I'm not sure if he's able going to make it in time. He's going to have to spend all of those health packs right now, which could potentially hurt them in that final circle.
But I have to say props to Phrase because he played a masterful strategy there. He bought back Gym Quest. He knew he could not run past the team and get into the circle, and therefore buying back one team member. Yes, you spend your coin, but that's a very worthwhile purchase because if at all things do go south, you still have another person in your team that you can count on. Now you've got two players who can split up and bring the rest of the team members back in. But remember, this was the point we were talking about, Victor. Yes, you can play the game of revival, but so late into the circle, you're barely going to have any loots. What's going to be the efficacy of this team in that final circle?
Yeah, that's a big question. I mean, they're going to hope that maybe they will be able to get elimination on another team and maybe take their loot instead. I think it'll be the best bet for them to get back in the game. Meantime, NC actually having a good match to get into the safe zone just in the nick of time. Should be able to gatekeep this one member of FRU, though. Coco just only got himself close to that circle, but unfortunately he sees enemies up high, so he's going to have to be very careful about the approach. Unfortunately, the rest of his team, unfortunately, is way up north, so they're not going to be able to give him any backup. And unfortunately, I think Coco may have just been spotted because he saw a glue wall, and that's betrayed his position now. So NC is getting themselves set up for this ambush, sending a bomb all the way there. Coco, luckily was able to just stay out of his area of effectiveness.
And NC doesn't really want to stick towards the very edge of the safe zone because we've only got about 12 more seconds before the circle starts to close on in, and the distance to travel is great. So all of the teams need to start moving, and they need to start moving now. NC, just like Freedom Rumble, they're a little bit too far away from this next circle, and I like the fact that the rest of the team members off the side of Freedom Rumble just continue to run away without Coco. They're like, Coco, brother, you kind of got left behind because you made your own decisions. Now you got to back yourself up.
But you know what? Like NC, I don't think they knew that the member of FRU they saw was only a single member because they thought there was a single squad. That's why they started to peel away. But that's going to wander them straight into the rest of FRU, though. So that might actually work out for them. In the meantime, though, battles now forming between Axis and EWG. Axis already set up inside the building, while EWG is still outside, only having the trees for support right now, and probably any glue walls could use unless that glue wall buster is completely make themselves wide open for an attack. And look at that, Fall MX doing a lot of damage. Another glue wall buster comes out. They want to try to take out Fall MX. Only one. There he goes. There's the shot. There's the knockdown. Now they're going to go ahead and try to find the other members of Axis who are wrapped around, trying to flank them on the left-hand side. Now Axis still stays on the rooftop. Unfortunately, the safe zone is closing in around them. They have to finish this fight as quickly as they can. Glue wall preventing 666 Rad from being able to get the kill done. He comes in, finally gets a knockdown, and Axis finally stabilizes the smash. Triple kill there for 666 Rad.
Oh, fantastic. The Indonesian import still bringing in the effect for the side of Axis Esports. But now, up against Geek Fam, what will Axis be able to do? Who will have the first shot? It's all about the positioning here as well as a little bit of luck. Who spots who first? Just beyond this wall, one good grenade can put them out of commission. But that wall is going to be quite the hindrance because they need to circle on around. They can't step outside of the circle. They have to go on through from the right-hand side.
This is an awkward position here for Geek because they're receiving fire from far across there, and they're trying to keep alive and now this is given an opportunity for Axis to go ahead and overwhelm them with absolute numbers.
Oh!
Unfortunately, it doesn't seem like it's going to work out well for Geek though. Farah continuing to keep that suppressing fire, just baiting Axis to go ahead and finish.
Oh!
Loses out. They only managed to nail 10th place right now. Oh, that's just so bad. Now, Axis is going to try to fight against Farang this time around.
Yeah, smart plays by Farang, nicking away all of those kills as Axis as well as Geek Fam go head-to-head against each other. Farang was the biggest winner in that engagement, but there were not a lot of points stolen away. Axis Esports still has got quite a bit of lead over them with all of the eliminations picked up so far. Now, as Farang circles around towards the left-hand side, they should run straight into Freedom Rumble, whereas Axis Esports will run straight into the hands of Juke, and Axis does not have cover. AV Radicals, though, can keep Juke a little bit busy. That's going to be the opening here for Axis. Axis sends in the drone, gets that extra bit of information. Just the perfect opener to get into the next circle, Victor.
Oh, look at that. AV Radicals jumping into the fray as well. So Axis is going to be facing a two teams up against them. Juke as well as AV Radicals. Or AV Tyrants in the meantime got themselves taken out. And the NC is also getting into a battle as well with FRU. So things are just heating up right now.
Yeah.
And the circle here, it's getting a little bit too crowded. Now they're trying to thin out the herd.
And Flame makes it back just in time so that they can steal the kill away from AV Radicals. Now AV Radicals up on top on that second floor. Raph says, hello, my friend, with the Charge Buster. Busts him down. Dude gets dropped. Dynamo trades one out just to get taken down. This is Kemal and Dawn taking Ace out of the equation. AV Radicals have got two more players to depend on. That grenade is not going to be of any help whatsoever as Dynamo goes down. But Hundo EWG smiles ear to ear. Dynamo taken out of the equation, all thanks to Jace. AV Radicals once again suppressed against all of these other teams that are hungrier than them.
Yeah, 6 teams remain, now 5. The Pando EWG loses their last member, Jace. So now things are going to be very tight from this point on.
Yeah.
The circle lands right out in the field there. Only 3 trees for cover. So that's not going to be a good proposition for anyone to try to go out there first. But Axis nevertheless sends one member out. He's going to try his very best to put himself right in the middle of that circle at this point. NC is on the left-hand side. Farah on the right, already losing one member. Too bad. Getting himself knocked down right now. So they're looking a little bit worse for wear at the moment. White one gets knocked out. AV Radicals gets eliminated. 5th place is the best they could do.
And NC still alive and kicking, taking out the final player from the side of AV Radicals. But the fight is not over just yet. But look at NC's setup. They send 2 players towards the right, 2 players still outside of the circle. 1 to deal with the players of Axis Esports, 2 others to deal with Revenge. Is this a good strategy? Farang, as they get eliminated from the equation in that 4th spot. NC is in hot soup. 2 players taking on the whole squad of Revenge, and NC goes down. That was a terrible setup. The strategy was off. Revenge, this is what we are talking about. This is the team that was highlighted yesterday, and after breaking away from Orange Esports, they've got new life breathed into them.
2v2v1, and then now it's only 1v2v3 as we come in, as Revenge has a man advantage. They will use that to eliminate NC, taking out Ryu. So now it's Axis versus Revenge here. Revenge does have the numbers here to work for them. They do have the glue walls already set up, so they're just trying to approach as quickly as they can towards where Revenge is. That's now goes front of Neptune. Good little shot there, as well as a grenade. That's forcing Neptune now to back out. Now the glue wall buster is going to come out. Neptune gets caught out in the crossfire, and now the Revenge comes, takes out Axis Esports, and they get the booyah.
What a Revenge victor. We were talking about this team yesterday, and we were asking, man, Revenge, yes, but Revenge against whom? Because the last time we spotted this squad, they really were not picking up anything for themselves at all, but they look like a team that has got a breath of new life, the breath of revenge, and they really want to prove what they're worth out there on the battlefield, and it looks like the Snapdragon Pro Series Season 2 for Asia Pacific is the perfect place to get that done. I think they all drank a can of Monster Energy before this match.
I wouldn't be surprised about that, but certainly you can see the focus on their faces though, because there's not a lot of elation actually on their faces. It's more of a sigh of relief, I think, given that it was a very tough final circle. I mean, we saw, what, 6, 7 teams actually make it?
Too many.
Too many, indeed. So there's a lot of battles actually forming at the same time, and it's just a wonder that Revenge managed to stay out of trouble long enough to stay into the final circle.
And it wasn't like they were trying to dodge each and every single fight. I think the strategy was sound for Revenge from the very first moment, right? Not being too lackadaisical with their approach, playing the game of defense throughout the whole time, surviving to get into the circle, prioritizing their positioning rather than getting elimination points. Because, I mean, the math does check out. You get into the final circle, you're going to have everybody running towards you, especially with the fact when you are into the game 10 minutes and 12 teams are still alive and kicking. Not a single team eliminated just yet. Just means the final circle will have a lot of food for you to eat. It's an all-you-can-eat buffet.
Another thing, because I was also watching what Geek Fam was doing, and I felt they played it safe because they wanted to thrive in the chaos of that final circle, but they got themselves eliminated so early. So I wonder, I kind of question that strategy at this point, because it seems like teams that are actually a bit more proactive, especially during the early to mid-game phases, seems to be that's the way to go, because the teams that actually do apply that strategy are the ones that we're actually seeing on the first page of the leaderboard. So I think Geek Fam may need to change things up, because if they stick with this strategy right here, it's not going to earn them anything at all in these few matches.
Yeah, I mean, that only managed to earn them one, and I can say one really is nothing. But although Revenge does manage to get the booyah, it's Axis Esports that claims that #1 spot with 17 eliminations to their name. And AV Radicals, because of their hustle in terms of elimination from the very start, although they pick up the 5th place with 6 placement points, they still do manage to climb up to the 3rd place with 15 overall. And seeing that 4th place, once again, still doing decently well in the competition.
Yeah, but decently well may not be able to get you too far, especially now that this is going to be the chance for these groups A and D to just catch up to the rest as far as the leaderboard is concerned. So granted, it is good that they're able to put themselves up there, but especially teams like AV Radicals definitely going to have to examine what exactly is making them lose out those early battles, because it kind of feels that that's the thing that's going to bog them down during this group stage here. And I really want to be able to see them actually be dominant for once, because I do feel that the team has that potential.
And here's why I'm shouting out NC, right? Because if you compare them, if there's a power ranking amongst all of these teams, I really feel like NC has got nothing on AV Radicals. But now not only are they a step behind AV Radicals, but they're above Farang. And Farang used to be known as one of the most fearsome teams in the Free Fire landscape within Malaysia. NC, on the other hand, weren't the biggest of threats. So to see them kind of keep up with the pace of AV Radicals and outdo Farang themselves speaks volumes for the team and all of the hustle that they've been putting into practice to get ready for this stage. But, you know, consistency is key. I've been asking as to how consistent can NC be. It looks like the answer is pretty consistent. And you know, overall, they just need 10 points from every single game. Average is all I'm expecting out of NC. Yesterday, they performed above average. Remember, 2 games with an overall of 26 points, so 13 per match. I believe they got 13 points again. This is the most consistency I've seen from NC.
Wow, that's Rhyme Master Mustachio right over here, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, I think, again, given the fact that, you know, it's the top 12 that do get through, so I can see your point why just having this, even though it's not really like a bombastic performance, just having this average amount of points there, just make it enough to get in the top 12. Maybe it's just good enough for this team here. And conversely, you know, you're not necessarily showing off your power levels, so to speak, especially this early into the group stage. So maybe that might be the ticket that NC is working on, you know, to get themselves there.
And you also don't want to go all out each and every single match and potentially risk early elimination. And we've seen how that has worked out for teams like AV Radicals and Expand, who were expected to dominate the competition. They thought themselves that they could dominate. They got very aggressive from the early stages on day 1, and they paid the price. And NC's not making that mistake at all, which is beyond shocking. And, you know, this is the kind of attitude and mentality you want to see from some of the bigger brands, some of the bigger teams who have managed to dominate the landscape so far. But I think it is all about the attitude, how you approach the Snapdragon Pro Series. I believe some could just be hanging back because they feel like they don't need to hustle just yet. Some others could be taking advantage of the fact that, you know, some of the other teams might be from the 2nd tier in terms of competitiveness.
Yeah,
but it looks like that 2nd tier team is hitting back real hard.
It's again, so I think like being in that 2nd tier means that, you know, there's not a lot of expectations on their side. So maybe that lack of pressure allows these players to actually come into form a little bit more.
That is correct. Yes.
So yeah, I think that's kind of the difference you have to consider sometimes, especially when you talk about the tier 1 teams. You know, the pressure to perform sometimes can negatively affect the players themselves.
Yes, and you know, decision making, right? And not just the pressure, but sometimes ego kind of catches up
Ah,
with you. You really want to prove yourself out there on the battlefield. Yeah, you're hopping on into the Snapdragon Pro Series. This is an opportunity for you to show who's the most dominant in the whole of MSP. And to a certain degree, some of the teams who have already proven themselves out there in other competitions want to have those flashy plays as well. But this is a whole new setup of teams. We barely knew all of their drop spots yesterday, and some of them found that out the very hard way.
I know, right? So, yeah, we'll have to see, because this is still the first of many matches that we could be having over the course of today here. So even though there may be a bit of stumbling for some of these teams here, they can certainly catch things up, especially for those Group A and D there, because this is literally going to be their shot to catch up to those in Groups B and C. So shout out to our sponsors here. Snapdragon Pro Series wouldn't have been possible without our main sponsor, which is Snapdragon Elite Gaming, for when winning matters. And these guys have been providing the perfect platform here for our Free Fire team, so we thank them so much for that. Not to forget as well, our second sponsor, Monster Energy. Unleash the beast here as we go through our Free Fire matches here. Go ahead, check them out, www.monsterenergy.com/gaming. And last but not least, if you're running out of credits there in your favorite mobile games, go ahead and check out Kachi Shop, because you might just not only get great deals, but also discounts on those top-ups there. So you're going to get your bang for the buck. Check them out at www.kachishop.com/my.
Hey man, on that note, we're going to take a quick short break. When we come back, round number 2 at Kalahari.
The Snapdragon Pro Series is brought to you by Snapdragon Elite Gaming, Monster Energy, and Kachi Shop.
I gotta get it, I'm on the mission, snap any minute, casually winning, stop tripping on me, stop dissing on me, yeah, I got a dream, can't
one,
take
two.
it from
Check
me,
one,
my
two.
fire's
Here
burning,
it
now
is.
I'm always learning, tell me where to go, man, I'm on a journey, yeah, I can't explain it, I get excited, keep it 300, King Leonidas, strap in, cause it's gonna be a long ride,
Tengah.
working on me every single day and night, there comes a time when your worlds will collide, if it's holding you back, push it right to the side. Ain't got no time for no fear. I work too hard to get here. Ain't got no time for no fear. I work too hard to get here. I don't got the time, put me in, coach. I've been going hard, time to let it show. Everything raw, give it to me now. Let me have the spot, man, it's going down. Gotta get it here, I don't wanna wait. Take what I want, then I go train. Gotta get a win, I won't lose the game. This is my year, I ain't gonna break. Strap in, cause it's gonna be a long ride. Working on me every single day and night. There comes a time when your worlds will collide. If it's holding you back, push it right to the side.
Another level, I will never settle. Mind over matter, get the gold medal. On another level, I will never settle. Mind over matter, get the gold medal.
Ain't got no time for no fear. I work too hard to get here. Ain't got no time for no fear. I work too hard to get here.
On another level, I will never settle. Mind over matter, get the gold medal. On another level, I will never settle. Mind over matter, get the gold medal. On another level, I will never settle. Mind over matter, get the gold medal. On another level, I will never settle. Mind over matter, get the gold medal.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. This is the Snapdragon Pro Series Season 2 Asia Pacific, brought to you guys by Snapdragon Elite Gaming, Monster Energy, as well as Kachi Shop. My name is AJ. I'm the mustachio down here with the one and only Victor Cax, bringing you guys the action. And so far, what we have seen on day 2 is revenge.
Oh yeah, revenge. Dish best served cold, isn't it? And these guys have certainly been serving that dish over and over again. And finally, today, they've got their first booyah. And boy, oh boy, I'm going to be hoping to see them do a little bit more of that, because I really like what I'm seeing here from them.
Dude, I just have my mind blown by revenge. And this has been a team that I have been putting a lot of hope and trust into from competitions of past. And all I've gotten in return was disappointment. But in this competition, they are not disappointing in the ever so slightest. They are taking revenge. I'm still curious as to who's that revenge against, but they have been doing a phenomenal job up there. Look at this, man. Overall leaderboard, Revenge now in the 3rd place with a single booyah to their name, 22 placement points, 26 elimination points for a total of 48. Just a single point behind Quick Reactions.
I mean, that's a super move there from Revenge now. So that's going to put them certainly up there, and they can definitely rest a little bit easy, especially when you're that high up on the first page there, because again, it's going to be the top 12 that moves on to the regionals there. So really, 12th spot is where you want to be. And look at that, NC already put themselves up there. So that's a good sign for them.
Yeah.
They're sharing the same number of points, which is 39 with Pando, EWG. Geek Fam, though, that single point, they need to do a lot more than that if they want to make themselves up into the top 12.
I most definitely agree with you. Two teams, Revenge and NC, both of these guys have a lot of opportunities. And by a lot of opportunities, I mean they've got 4 rounds in here from Group A as well as Group D. And yesterday we saw Group B and Group C have those 4 matches, whereas the other 2 groups only had 2. So it's the reverse today, hence why you see the exact same maps, which are Bermuda as well as Kalahari. But I have to say, the groupings that I am most excited about is Group A versus Group C. Because yesterday we saw Blacklist International dominate pretty much the competition, and they were able to once again tap out quite a number of the other teams, but the Titan squads are in Group A. So when that particular combination happens, I'm curious to see exactly how well this, I have to stop calling them Blacklist, how well does Auto Knockout do in here today, but we still have to be a little patient. That matchup will come on forth a little bit later on.
Yeah.
Can we see, though, more consistency from NC, and will Revenge be able to continuously execute their revenge? By the way they're playing, it seems like this is going to be very highly likely.
Yeah, it seemingly does so. And, you know, if NC is going to be able to keep that up as well, that should certainly guarantee them a slot somewhere. As long as, like I said, every single match, if there's at least 10 points for them, no matter we get it from placement points or from kills, that may be just a ticket for them. But, yeah, it's kind of funny when you think about it that, you know, the squads in Group A never had the opportunity to play against Group C at all yesterday itself. So that's going to be a real test for Auto Knockout here because, you know, you can sometimes make the argument that, you know, it's the first day of the competition. Teams have not really settled down, so to speak, when it comes to how this competition is going to turn out. And Blacklist certainly used that opportunity for themselves to net a huge amount of points in that first day. So today is going to be a real test, I think, for Auto Knockout right now because up against the really strong squads in Group A may not be as easy as a path there compared to day one.
That I'll have to agree, right? And Group A versus C, you will start seeing those games starting from match number 3 as well as match number 4. So stay tuned. You will be, I'm pretty sure, excited to see exactly how the journey of Auto Knockout is at that point of time. Now, going back to a little bit more of the spicy masala thrown into the competition, AV Radicals. I'm just not feeling the dominance.
That's why, like I said, I think AV Radicals is going to have to examine what exactly is making them lose out on this early game fights. Maybe it's a combination of characters, which is a thing that we really rarely touch on here, but the characters do really make a difference in terms of not only a playstyle, but even an approach you take to certain battles. You know, characters like Alok, for example, you get extra movement speed and HP, and maybe the AV Radicals might want to consider using characters like that, you know, to make up for, you know, the kind of aggression they will face against other teams. But nevertheless, though, that is the problem for AV Radicals side. The problem for us is to figure out who exactly is going to dominate this map right now because we're live on Kalahari. This is the second match here for Groups A and D. Let's see how things are going out. Oh, ORV and FRU already caught up in the battle here. Coco getting himself knocked down. That's already 2 members of ORV getting taken down, and Shots gets himself eliminated. Unfortunately, Jabba Kid's able to get himself back into play there thanks to the revive by his teammate. Now they're going to try to go ahead and finish off the rest of FRU. 2 members still wandering around here, still waiting to see if they can try to fight back, but unfortunately going to be caught right on the outside. Yes, now going for the chase onto Danny's, and Danny's going to be able to get knocked down the other side. Unfortunately, coming around there is Jans, and he does get the revenge kill onto FRU's Danny's, and only 1 member FRU left. He's going to have to run away now. No way he's going to be able to save his teammate there.
Yeah, he has to run past that revival platform, which in itself has to hurt a lot. But the question here is now, can Kai get his hands on a vehicle of some sort so that he can get away as quickly as possible from that compound? We can see the players of Farang trying to fly away as well. well with the launch pad as they don't want to deal with the heavy firepower within their compound. ORV, Voidface trying to get the job done. Now this two teams, they hot dropped each other, and this gunfight between Spade and Voidface is the most important because as the two teams hot drop each other at Refinery, it was Spade as well as the guy who was trying to hold on to that revival platform so that the losers get to bring their team members right back in. But it was ORV that failed against Farang at Refinery, and with Spade winning that out, Seiya is left all alone, and he's that final survivor. I think this is an early GG for ORV. They can't run towards the players of Revenge. They can't run back in towards the players of Farang. They can't run away towards AV Radicals. They are stuck.
Yeah, very much stuck there. I mean, look at that. Look at left, right, center, up on top, up on bottom. There's nowhere for him to go. Justy GG does bring shots back, though. So, I mean, that's the other ORV team here that we're talking about. Ipans in the meantime, I think they've just encountered NC because Ryu just got eliminated there. Kai just trying his very best to stay out of trouble around. Looks like he does find a revive point just down by the south side, but RV is also around the corner. So he has to watch out, though. He got spotted by Piz, and Piz does take him down a notch or two. Doesn't quite get elimination done yet, though, but that's going to gatekeep him from being able to approach that revive station.
Single point, Geek Fam still trying to look more for themselves, but they have to be really careful because if they do get baited in by the players of Freedom Rumble, they'll have to deal with No Escape RV a little bit later on as well. That's not something that I think Geek Fam wants to deal with so early on in this round number 2, especially after just picking up a single point for themselves. This should be a more careful round for Geek Fam, but as I say that, look at them run straight for Kai.
Yeah, indeed. Kai just going to head behind and tucker in there. I hope he doesn't get spotted this early on, but look at how dire the situation is right now for FRU. Kai now forced to attack, tries to get onto Hakimi. Hakimi puts out 2 glue walls there, does have a drone out as well, try to scan and see if there's any other members to watch out for, but it seems to realize that there's not much attack coming his way. You know, Kai is going to use his opportunity to try to slip away, and actually look at that, RV moves away from the revive station, so Kai could actually get back onto there to bring back some of his teammates. He needs to do it fast though, because Geek Fam, they are on the chase.
Yep, Apis now out in the open. The players of No Escape RV could have just waited slightly longer before firing at the players of Geek Fam. Try to bait them out into the open first, but a little bit of a premature engagement from No Escape RV allows the players of Geek Fam to back away and play a safer rotation in. Now they are on a heavy defense with Hakimi and the VSS. Shah's going to be in a lot of trouble. He does have the AK, but the gun that Hakimi holds in his hands, a little bit better for this sort of a distance as well as headshot. And the moment Shah peeks his head up from that rooftop, he is going to be in a lot of trouble. Time Turner will save him as he bandages himself right back up. The players of Geek Fam are at a stalemate against No Escape RV, but look at that flank around.
Yeah, I saw a couple of members of Geek Fam starting to flank the back of RV there, and I think Kai from FRU is just going to be hoping that both teams just going to be too distracted by that little engagement there to actually deal with him so they can make a dash forward at revive station and make a third party in this fight. But right now, RV and Geek Fam very much engaged in battle here. Glue walls coming up and around. Hakimi trying to run around side, gets a glue wall out just in time before FaZe is able to put a shot down. Tries to put down a glue wall buster, but that may expose him a little bit too much, and that's taking a lot of damage on him. Now Sia is going to be taken down there by FPs. On the other side though, Hakimi now still keeping this fight going, gets a knockdown to Sienz. That's good. He's going to get a knockdown to FaZe, but unfortunately he's the one going to get knocked down this time. Abiz now coming in to save his teammate. There he is. He's going to be in time though. No, he is not. That's going to be the end of Hakimi. Unfortunately, his FaZe gets his teammate back up. Actually he's only the one standing right now, so he's in a very dire spot here for RV. He needs to get Jimquez back up, but where is Jimquez? He's very far off, and Geek Fam's keeping him gate kept. So now Geek Fam has the man advantage. They will be able to keep FaZe away from his teammate. FaZe now, unfortunately, it's very wide open out here. He can't really pull away from his battle. He needs to get a knockdown. Look at that from the sky. RKO there, and look at that. Noscape RV eliminated the 11th team. The 11th place is the best they could do here.
And Revenge taken out in the 10th spot. The winners of the previous Booyah have bombed out pretty early this time round. AB Radicals seem to be the very next one who might be in trouble as ORV catches up with the players of AV Radicals. Ray Miel says goodbye to Wine as he backs away. So Wine is gonna just be the guy who's that little black sheep, the sacrificial lamb to hold the whole squad of ORV back. What can this boy's gun skills do? Ramiel buys back one team member. In the meantime, Wine keeps the rest of them a little bit entertained. Jastly spots him out, and here comes the full-on fury. Jan has the Mag 7. Wine gets spotted out. Double barrel in hand, needs to turn around. It's Kids right behind him. Wine gets Kids! Jabat Kids down on the ground, but that's just a knock. No elimination just yet. But good play by Wine. The distraction was perfect, and he bought enough time.
Yeah, just buying time for the rest of his teammates to set up in another location, and I think it's still working out well for AV, even though they conceded at one kill point there to ORV. So in the grand scale of things, not too much damage done.
Yeah.
AV Radicals are still in the game right now. Unfortunately, ORV is quite close to the next revive station, so if AV Radicals want to bring back another member, they will be forced to make an engagement. The next circle coming out still also keeps Refinery in play right now, and Farang have done a setup here in order to try to keep control over that. Now that they see the circle is favoring the Refinery side, it looks like it's going to be high time for them to make their way there. Unfortunately, if Danger Zone does appear right on top of Refinery itself, and finally it does get away now, so Farang will have free reign to take over control of that side, the most important site here on Kalahari.
Let's see, how can they now circle around this little bit of a challenge, because Danny's needs to be brought right back in. They don't have a revival point anywhere near them. No purchase points as well. The vending machines are just a little bit too far. Mammoth just behind them. They can take that zip line, but that'll require them to travel away from the circle first. So lots of decisions here for the players of Freedom Rumble. And the question is, what will they decide to do? Do they send out one guy on the mission of revival, or does the whole squad stick together and bring back that final player to get ready for that next battle? Pando EWG, on the other hand, is not stuck with such big decisions to make. They are running across freely, just looking for the circle, with just Freedom Rumble who might be able to mess with them after this.
Yeah, so this is going to be interesting as well for EWG, because they're starting to get close to FRU. In fact, they're already starting to put some shots to keep them suppressed, as Mount Monito is going to be approaching them, trying to flank them from the top side. They spot out Kai, going to go ahead and put some shots in. Kai ducks away into the building just in the nick of time, so it doesn't take too much damage. The rest of his team is going to be peeling away from this as quickly as they can. They can't really afford for a battle like this, because EWG has 4 members up. FRU only has 2, so they cannot force a fight out here. They're just going to have to run away right now, but that might actually land them straight into the sides of Farang, because they've already set themselves up on the Refinery. They have full range to see exactly what's going on around this circle here, and any team that wanders a little bit too close to the gun side is definitely going to get shot.
Let's see if we're on Freedom Rumble. I mean, they've got the advantage, or they had the advantage moments ago. Kind of messed that one up by losing the player, but it's all right. They've got the vending machine in front of them. They've got enough coins to bribe back their player, at least one. Danny brought back into the equation. Juke, on the other hand, with Asta 666 revived. ORV now is their next challenge, and ORV clearly knows that they are there. As they cross that body of water, ORV is waiting to gatekeep them. The circle is still with them, but as it comes closing in, the next circle's placement will decide the movement of Juke and whether or not ORV will have a meal day with them running towards them, or if the circle just still stays in place. Juke can just wait this out, wait for another team to potentially engage with ORV, and then start to make that move. Where's that circle gonna go? Juke has to travel, but look now, if they keep towards that riverbank and travel from the outer side towards the next circle, ORV is not going to get a clear shot against them.
Exactly. That's still working out well for Juke here, so it can still stay out of trouble and get to that next safe zone. In the meantime, inside the circle, though, AV Radicals has spotted out one of the ORV teams there. Jabat Kids, Jans, Shots, and Justly TG set up on the bayfront here, and AV Radicals have yet to have 2 members cross river, but they also have to watch out for Axis, because Axis is also making their way towards the bayfront as well, so it might become a 3-way battle very soon. AV Radicals now getting locked in the battle. Jabat Kids going to get knocked down. Rimel One going to try to get out of the way there to see if he can find another member of ORV, but for now, it seems like AV Radicals has set themselves up really good here in this fight. Now they're going to try and circle around and see if there are any other members of ORV to eliminate, but at the moment, it seems like that solo member, Shots, is able to hide away and stay very, very quiet right now, and hope that Axis Esports comes in here to interrupt AV Radicals, to give it a distraction, to allow him to peel away from this battle.
You know, fun fact here, Victor. through all of the matches so far. We've got 7 games, and not a single match have we seen a team from Group D pick up a booyah. So far, all of the booyahs have been focused on Group A, C, as well as B. Group B only having one representative, that is Expand, picking up the booyah for themselves. The rest has all just been a dominant play from Group A and C.
Yeah, I mean, Orvi Tyrants and Orvi X-Men needs to try to find one booyah somewhere around here. Twist, in the meantime, going to be facing a bit of trouble.
Ooh. Oh, he missed!
Right. He didn't get shot. Now he gets knocked down. Ay, 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 ay. That was really bad. Now Pong tries to recover, but unfortunately, it's only so much he could do in this situation there. That was such a bad move from Orvi, losing the fight from the get-go here. Now, there's still 2 members up, set up on top of the building there, so they were going to just hunker in right now and hope the EWG doesn't try to force an issue here, but I think this is already looking so bad for RRV because EWG has them dead to rights here. It's going to be kind of hard for them to maintain this positioning here. In the meantime, Voidface gets himself on the ground here. Kai actually is down by the cliffside here, hoping to avoid things. That's Glue Wall Buster going to be coming out. Voidface is going to lose this Glue Wall very soon. Sets up a second one just in time, but takes damage from the other side. Scream Vent finds a way to flank him there. Now tries to jump onto him there. Voidface attempting to escape right now, but his path is being a little bit blocked. Rinven is going to try to run away here, but right now he spots Seiya on top of the building, tries to get some shots, gets to the building right now as the blue zone comes in around them, forcing them now to rush towards the safe area. Now EWG is going to be battling, going to be storming the front here, storming this building, and they're going to want to flush Seiya out.
Yeah, Seiya, he's going to hold back the whole team, and he's got a little bit of a backup here. Voidface slowly catching up with the rest of them as Farah drops Sky. The final player of Freedom Rumble has been taken out in the 9th spot. Seiya from up top. Voidface tries to play the game of distraction as Yasta now gets dropped by Farang as well. Geekfam gets caught in a battle with the players of Farang. One good grenade. Nah, it's just a glue wall melter that's just going to be teasing them just a little bit, taking all of those glue walls out of the equation. A grenade, though, could have done real big damage against the players of Geekfam as that window was not barricaded just yet. 11 eliminations so far for Farang.
Yeah, and the thing is, AV Radicals is also starting to attack them as well. They took out Jezeboo though, so Farah is going to have another problem on their hands very soon, and they can't stabilize this. Now, at least going to be able to keep Geek Fam contained within that building, but AV Radicals, they're wandering around. They're trying to find extra kills here. They know this is going to be an opportunity to get some because there's still 8 teams in the circle. It's getting very crowded right now. They just need to try to find an opening here and hoping that Farang will be weak enough to show them something here, but right now they're still very preoccupied with Geek Fam here. Attempts to send some one member out. The grenade's going to come out. Doesn't quite get the elimination done, unfortunately, though. So Farang still content to try to stay in this spot right now, but Geek Fam is very much still stuck into their building as well. Another blue wall buster going to be sent out. They want to try to prevent Geek Fam or rather burn out whatever glue walls that Geek Fam still has in their inventory right now, but fighting a war on 2 fronts, very difficult here for Farang. They need to be able to manage this very carefully.
Approaching the end of the 4th circle, and we only have 4 teams down, which means this is gonna be a party. Hey. Way too many teams are alive in circle number 5, and all of that's just gonna ensue in just breaking out chaos. Axis Esports stuck in a terrible place. That glue wall melter gonna melt down one after the other, but a great glue wall will hold the players of AV Radicals just outside. Deuce jumps on in, and his double barrel will not do much damage as a great, perfectly timed glue wall is erected by the players of Axis. Exact Raph and Flame, they heal themselves up. AV Radicals have an option to back away, but no, they still want to bash their heads in. They want to take all of the elimination points on the players of Axis.
Yeah, they're still trying to storm it and try and bust right through the glue wall here. Knockdown's going to be coming all around. T901 able to put it on glue wall just in time. Now he's going to try and use his shotgun here. Taking one. Ooh, the grenade launcher though from 66 Grab. They completely wipe out Axis Esports. AV Radical played around with this very awkward situation here with the halfway through, but it's not quite done. Look at Geek Fam now. Farang is now trying to force them out of the building here, and they indeed do force them on the outside. Can they get eliminations done though? Because Farang now just also facing another problem because Revenge has a member, Jace, who's getting in the mix. He's actually forcing Jembo to be distracted at this point, so he can't really support the rest of his squad as they attempt to assault Geek Fam. So things are falling apart rapidly here for Farang. Can they still hold on? Oh, Jimbao now gets down to the ground. This forced to try to run alongside with the ever-shrinking circle right now. We're approaching the 6th one, and it's still looking very, very tight at this point here for Farang.
Yeah, jump out, final player on the side of Farang. Geek Fam on the other hand, now they deal with the players of AB Radicals. Farang eliminated all thanks to Juke's Day Moon. That grenade launcher was perfect. Hakimi drops Juice from afar. Ramiel with the AWM. He's got the distance, but he can't play just yet. Hakimi grenade! Garnet takes out the final player from the side of AB Radicals, and that's the 4th spot for them. Juke still alive and kicking. Geek Fam wants the booyah for themselves. ORV shots can sneak it away. This is now a tense moment. The circle's gonna start falling in. The final circle. This is the time for all of them to get the job done. But Juke is out in the open. Geek Fam has the defense. One mistake. Daxi takes it. Hakimi drop. X-Men taken out. This has to be Juke's booyah.
This has to be. They have the man advantage. They're going to push straight through the blue wall here. Gets elimination. Gets
Booyah!
here for Jukes.
The first team within Group D to pick up a booyah for themselves, and that point was just brought up in this match. Juke said, let us be the ones who makes history for our group, and they do exactly that. And now this team, they struggled yesterday, man. Team Juke, when we started off the day, they were in the 20th spot. Yesterday from 2 games, they only managed to pick up a total of 12 points. So this booyah means a lot to them.
It definitely does. You can see it from their faces as well. The elation here right now, shooting themselves into the top of Group D right now. Who would have thought Jukes would be the one to get that first booyah in that group there, especially when you had, such teams as ORV, Freedom Rumble, and Tyrants constantly going out there, getting kills done. But it was Jukes who silently was waiting in the wings. And when the moment appeared, they went in, all in, and just worked out so well for them.
You know, there's an element of luck layered into their win as well, but it's not all just about the luck. Now, where luck played its part in that final circle was the concentration of teams just were not on Jukes' side. Now, they could have made the mistake, then the mistake was to just run out looking for eliminations, but this is where they played the luck to their favor, and they stayed away from all of those engagements. They just told the rest, okay, go ahead and do what you need to do, but they just didn't stay silent. They stayed hidden away behind the defenses, and they took pot shots at all of the other teams. Against Farang, against Geek Fam, they stole away those kill points. They took those crucial elimination points for themselves and jumped into the final battle when it truly was needed because they had no other choice. and I love that, right? Teams that play safe usually manage to pick up solid booyahs for themselves, and I hope Juke can show us that they are capable of doing this a few more times.
Yeah, but certainly, when you talk about kill points, though, they would definitely have lost out on that.
Yeah.
So let's hope that it's going to be a good balance there. But nevertheless, with the amount of action to be had in this early phase here, I mean, Geek Fam finally does get themselves up there somewhat, with these few team fights that they had. ORV, I just gotta say though, like,
no, this one was a bad play, right? And I'll tell you why. Double barrel shotgun. You get a single shot out of it, and you gotta clock it once again. And he went up against a Mag 7, which was an auto shotgun. So what it basically means is when Twist went in there for the jump, he cannot afford to miss. And he did exactly that. He missed it by a mile, and he got sprayed down, which was not unfortunate. It was quite apt in terms of the lesson that was to be taught in that situation. If you want to get aggressive, don't miss your shot.
Exactly, you get punished, and punish
yeah.
ORV was, because it looks like 5th is only the best you can do here with 5 kills and 8 placement points. Team Juke gets the top of the board there because they do have the kills as well to complement their placement points. 22 is not a bad thing at all here for Team Juke. That's certainly going to shoot them up very, very far. But then, unfortunately, for some of these other teams like NC, the first team to get eliminated early on here. So I think they're going to have to make up a lot of ground in the subsequent matches.
I mean, once again, NC's not the strongest team that you can find out there on the battlefield. What they've done so far has been impressive. So, this is unfortunate, but it's expected out of NC. Let's just hope that this is not a constant in the next few matches, that they can bounce right back up from this. ORV X-Men making great headway for themselves. Now, this is a great step up in comparison to where they were yesterday. From 2 matches, they only picked up 6 points. From a single game here, they've picked up 13. So that's making great strides for themselves. Geek Fam stepping up on the leaderboard as well. Farang finally waking up. This competition is coming alive, Victor.
Yeah. Indeed, and that's what we love to see here. So we still are going to be joining some of these teams here. Juke, in the meantime, I mean, the stats-wise, not very impressive, I have to say, especially compared to, you know, the 9,000 damage or the
Yeah.
20 headshots
Yeah.
that Auto Knockout was able to do. But it's still respectable that in spite of that, you know, efficiency is
Yeah.
definitely going to be key here for Juke, because in spite of not being that bombastic in terms of kill performance, at least having the placement points there is enough there to keep Team Juke on top.
Sneaky, some may say toxic. And in the game of Free Fire, in the world of Free Fire, stealing kills, some say it's toxic, but I say it's playing the most brilliant game of Free Fire possible. Like you said, efficiency is key. They've got 4,000 damage, and they managed to get, what, 10, 12 eliminations? Sorry, 10 eliminations.
Yeah.
So overall, that's super impressive, and this was something that we were talking about yesterday, right? How some of those teams get a lot of damage, but very few kills. That means they're shooting like ducks in barrels, but all they manage to do is just scratch those ducks. Someone else comes and picks up the elimination point. That someone else is Juke.
Oh, yeah, not just me. So again, like it's all talking about approaches here.
Yeah.
And one of the good things about Free Fire is that you have the flexibility to go for different sort of approaches. Some teams would prefer to be super hyper aggressive, like Auto Knockout. Some teams like to play it safe, like Geek Fam and Team Jukes.
AV Radicals, maybe.
Yeah, in a certain extent. And like some teams really thrive in the chaos. Some teams
They
prefer
do.
to play it very tactically, you know, focusing more on throwables
Yeah.
instead of actually going gun versus gun.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's all about really, but at the end of the day, it's all about whether or not you can make this approach work for yourself.
Yeah.
And in Team Juice's case, the approach worked for them very, very well. It's partly because of luck, but they, again, as a team, you need to make the most of your circumstances.
Yeah.
And Team Juke definitely did so.
And here's one team that's already practicing for the Free Fire World Series, and that's AV Radicals. They don't need to get aggressive in these rounds at all. But if you notice, AV Radicals isn't playing a lot of strategy. They're just trying to get involved in as many as possible engagements to test out their gun power before they go on to the Free Fire World Series. I think that's genius, because this is the kind of team that's not going to have a problem at all getting into the regional finals later on. They just need to aim for the top 12. There's no prize pool for this level of the competition, so AV Radicals is still chilling. But if you want to know exactly who's responsible for all of this action, it's the one and only Snapdragon Elite Gaming, when winning matters.
Yeah, indeed, and winning definitely matters a lot here in the Free Fire series at Snapdragon Pro Series. We also like to shout out to Monster Energy, providing us the energy, the boost that's needed here to unleash the beast over at www.monsterenergy.com/gaming.
And of course, if you do want to purchase any in-game credits instead of running straight into the game and getting that done, why don't you visit Kachi Shop? Not only may you be able to get amazing deals, but also cashback. Check them out. The website's right there. Take a screenshot, rewind it, do whatever you want, but make sure you pay a little bit of attention, because usually I've got a few deals that I've picked up for myself, which I think is absolutely ridiculous. In fact, it's illegal. I don't know how it happens, but you got to check them out to see exactly what I'm talking about. We're going to take a quick short break. When we come back, it's the engagement that I've been waiting for. It's Group A going up versus Group C, and that is where we get to see Auto Knockout, whether they get to shine against the titans of the competition. Victor and I will be right back.
The Snapdragon Pro Series is brought to you by Snapdragon Elite Gaming, Monster Energy, and Kachi Shop.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Snapdragon Pro Series, bringing you guys Free Fire as we are entering day number 2. My name is Victor Cax. Joining me here is the Mustachio. We're going to be bringing you guys even more Free Fire action here, as now we're seeing Group A and C fight against each other now. And this is exciting now. The newly rebranded Auto Knockout finally having a chance against the Titans in Group A.
And I don't know if or not that's a great chance or the chance that will decimate Auto Knockout, because there are a couple of Titan teams within Group A that are eyeing for that #1 spot. And this clash is going to be the perfect condition to get that done, because not only do the teams need to pick up points to outdo the players of Auto Knockout, they also have to suppress Auto Knockout, maybe eliminate them very early on and pick up all of those elimination points as well as placements for themselves, because Auto Knockout sits down comfortably in that #1 spot right now with 74 points, but they do have a couple of matches played more than AV Radicals. Now, all of that is going to be changing today, as AV Radicals within Group A has got the extra chances to pick up those matches, and they are just 14 points behind them.
14 points in total, but 10 kill points behind Auto Knockout, which I think is definitely something achievable within these next few matches here. So this is going to be interesting to see whether or not AV Radicals will be able to so to speak, knock Auto Knockout from that top spot here. But nevertheless, though, this is going to be a true test of, a true test of might here for Group A, because this is again the day for them to really rise up to the occasion.
Farang, just like AV Radicals, are not too far away from Auto Knockout, and the ones who have a better chance, if you ask me, is actually Farang to take that #1 spot. And the main reason is because they have been focusing so much on the elimination points, and the placement points, on the other hand, has been something that has been very easy for Farang to do. Now, as long as they can get decently well into that final circle and then start popping off, the chances are there for Farang to rise up to the top. But Revenge, a team that we have been looking out for since yesterday, a team that has managed to pick up a single booyah for themselves so far, look like they are all ready to dominate day number 2 as well. The competition is finally finding its rhythm, and a lot of the teams who are out there on the play of dominance are getting all of that fire warmed up. Now let's run through the teams that will be playing this next series of matchup. 2 back-to-back games at Bermuda and Kalahari. Group A, AV Radicals, Farang, Revenge, Axis Esports, Geekfam, as well as Pando EWG. And they get to take on Group C.
Yeah, Group C comprised of Auto Knockout, Quick Reactions, Tactical Intex, Hard to Get, and K9 Meta, and Ilustrados Huegos. These are teams that, had some glory yesterday as well, and some past glory as well, particularly to Huegos there. But nevertheless, this is going to be now the chance for them to put a bit of hurt right now onto Group A. But is that going to be the case coming into this one, though? Because, like we said, AV Radicals, Farang, and Revenge, they already are very much warmed up for those in those first couple of matches.
Yeah.
So now they're going to be up against a group that has been sitting on the sidelines for a while now. Definitely have been observing and seeing what these other squads have been doing. Hopefully, be able to use that information to their advantage.
And these are the 3 teams that we are keeping our eyes on. AV Radicals as well as Auto Knockout. They're clearly miles ahead of Geekfam, but we are also keeping our eyes on Geekfam because of the promise that this brand and this team brings into the competition. They've got moments of brilliance, but what they do not have on their side is consistency. But we did see how they managed to overtake ORV earlier on. There was one straggler from Freedom Rumble who was leading them into a trap, but they went into the trap. They walked into the trap with their eyes closed and still walked away the champions.
Yeah, indeed. So we'll see whether or not that will continue on. But then for Geekfam in particular, it's still going to be quite a climb for them. Now, granted, they've already made their way to the first page, so that's already job done as far as like getting to the top 12 is concerned. Now, the question is, can they stay there though? Because NC, they had a little bit of an abysmal second round, so they can try to bounce back once they are coming back later on today. But I think for Geekfam, this is now a really good opportunity for them to actually gain a little bit more points, hopefully put them a little bit more higher up on that page right now, so that they will have a good, decent chance of getting to that top 12.
So there's now no more any options for Group D to pick up a booyah because Group D is not playing. But Juke has managed to do that group justice by picking up a booyah for themselves. We will get to see Group D in action once again for the final 2 matches of the day. But now we focus in on the grouping that I've been looking forward to, because Auto Knockout, bro, yesterday they started off not just hot, they were like lava. They were melting down everybody else as they went in for the booyah. hitting a 39er. That's a record that no one else has not been able to not only break, but to approach.
Exactly. So we'll have to see, because the thing about auto knockout is that, you know, they started off well,
Yeah.
but things tapered off massively by the time it got to the last match of the day. So
Yeah.
I wonder whether or not they will have that consistency, because again, you know, even though you may have moments of brilliance,
Yeah.
consistency is what we're looking for in these group
Yes.
stages. You know, you cannot afford to drop games massively like that.
Yeah.
So we did see that happen with some groups like Geek Fam, with some groups like AB Radicals. Now it's going to be up to auto knockout to really show that they have that consistency.
Yeah.
And you know, now that they're up against a really strong group, this is a perfect test of their abilities.
And of course, you've heard all of our predictions. You've heard of all of the teams that we've got our eyes on. But the question here is, who do you have your eyes on? Jump on into Twitch. This is exactly where you get to tell us exactly what your predictions are. And if you are the ones who are lucky enough to choose the right team, you don't win anything. It's just a lot of bragging rights.
Indeed it is. But you know, bragging is going to get you so far, really. It's results that are the most important
Oh,
here.
yeah.
And results are going to be coming up soon here, ladies and gentlemen, because now we are live on Bermuda. What is going on here? This is looking very crowded at the moment. Meta seems to have dropped in front of okay, we just jumped away from there to look on Geek Fam here, and Hakimi actually took quite a lot of damage, so it seems like they really didn't want to go into those early game engages. They want to actually get a little bit more more loot, actually. Luegos, right now, they're the ones who are facing a bit of trouble here because it's a very crowded shipyard area here. There's plenty of cover and plenty of maneuverability, but they need to be able to spot out the members, the enemy out here, and it can be a bit tough here, especially when you're playing a dangerous game of hide and seek.
Very early on, we can see the teams jumping on into action. A little bit of a change of pace in comparison to the first two games. And a beautiful ice grenade dropped in here by Yado. Presco taken down. Was already low on HP. Barely any medkits on him. Could not recover in time. Couldn't pick up no medkit. Yado with the perfect play. And that's how you recover some of your dominance inside of a compound. Now McRory, constant circles around and delete. Can't find the opportunity to delete him just yet. And the trigger discipline is perfect here, because if you do shoot with this gun, you're not going to be able to get an immediate knockdown, but you need to wait for the timing. And that was patience played perfectly. And McRory pulls out the time turner, but the amount of the mag size on delete is just way too much. That LMG putting on way too much of damage. McRory's about to be deleted. Yet another time turner pulled out, but the backup here by Yado is perfect to nerf him for an instant moment.
He should have tapped, I think. Don't not try to go for the spray, because the spread can get super wide if you constantly hold down that trigger finger. So kind of bad move as well, maybe. But then again, he was up there, he was spotting them, and now Luegos is going to go ahead and try to use his advantage here to try to eliminate the rest of Meta. They're going to be chasing them all around the shipyard. He thought he could catch McDo, but McDo 180 around, gets a knockdown instead, and MacD putting down McDo. He's going to be able to eliminate the rest of them, and it looks like Meta loses a little bit here, but now McCoy is going to try his very best to stabilize this. Does get eliminations done on members of Waco's, so at least there's a little bit of punish going on, but nevertheless though, Meta still down to one member.
Well played by McCoy, having one of the best CQC guns in terms of engagement capability and the rate of fire. The P90 is a monster. There are a couple of guns that can outdo them, but when you take a hot drop, you pick anything up, bro. You pick anything up that works, and the P90 in that situation was more than enough to get him a double. And now that has forced Illustrados to think about their approach. Vando EWG, on the other hand, have not managed to run away from QR just yet. Shanks cooking up that grenade. Rinpen just needs to be really careful here, just on the edge of the hill as he backs away from the team of QR. Vando EWG will be able to survive a little bit longer. K9 Meta, on the other hand, get taken out supremely early.
Yeah, I mean, QR at least were able to maintain 4 of the members, and they eliminated Manchai there, so at least they're going to be able to force them out of that team fight now. And QR still looking very, very healthy at the moment, but not a lot of health packs on Shanks though. They're going to have to loot around a little bit more, so good thing that they're able to peel away from battle, because if they're bogged down from that, that's going to hurt their chances later on in the game. Meantime though, hard to get, and they're going to be up against Auto Knockouts AKO right now, having the high ground here, and they've already spotted Insanes. They're already thinking about getting some extra kill points there. Oh, the ping actually giving them positioning and allowing them to see where exactly hard to get is. So now they're going to be moving in here aggressively, forcing out a good.
Whoa!
Watch out there. Watch out from above. Oh, the knockdown happening right there. AKO now moving in to bring in even more hurt by taking out Batman. And that's one of the most important members of Hard to Get here. So they're already hurting very much. Now Ares going to be chased out of the second floor here as New is going to be coming in here, finding Ares, knocking him down just in time. Now only Insane is just trying to run away right now. The glue wall able to keep it away, but Yubi's still on the chase. He sniffs the blood coming out. He's going to go ahead and get the knockdown here, jumping straight out the window. Insane's putting out the glue wall, trying to hold him back, but it's only for now. He gets caught out, he gets knocked down, and he's out for the count.
Yeah, Newbie with the triple. This guy is on fire as the players of AKO go all out to prove themselves. Blacklist International may have dropped them, but what has not dropped is their spirits. They are out there to dominate, and so far things are going on great. Axis Esports, they find the players of Geek Fam. They drop yet another hot game, but the question is, how many more does Geek Fam have on the battlefield? I believe there's been 2 eliminations so far, but we haven't really seen any revivals from them just yet. Hard to Get, on the other hand, a successful full squad revival by 4bits.
Oh, that's lucky for them that the revival station was just close by, so they were able to get themselves back in the fight very, very quickly. So not a lot of damage done in the grand scale of things. Nevertheless, though, Revenge looking to try to get an assault here onto Geek Fam. I think they just Decos may have spotted one of the members. Appice, oh, he's a bit exposed right now. Decos can go ahead and take the shot. He goes ahead to the shot with the G3 and nails him down right now, trying to bait out any other members, but he does finish off Appice first. So that's all we've done and dusted. Now the rest of Revenge closing in on the factory here. They know the Geek Fam is 1 member less, so they have a good opportunity here to make a strike happen. Now Ipan's going up into the doorway. He's going to be the first one inside the factory. Hazik and Yasta are inside right now. Oh, actually, Yasta has run out here. He's going to try to make a break for the safe zone in the circle to allow... sorry, Yasta is actually inside the factory there. He's going to try to distract Revenge at the moment. I don't think Revenge actually spotted him because he actually walked right past him. This could actually work out well for Geek Fam. If Revenge cannot find any members here to fight, they're going to be forced to move on.
The biggest question here was, what can AKO do against Group A? And I think they can do wonders. Look at AKO. Ignore everybody else and just look for the center of the next circle. They are already in a great defensive position. They don't have to engage. All they need to do is just wait for other teams to approach their compound and go bang bang.
I mean, speaking of teams and approaching their compound, Hard to Get maybe going for round number 2 against AKO very, very soon. So that will be exciting. Watch Yasa now. It's been spotted out, so Revenge are going to be going ahead and taking him down, but that's only the strategy tactic here. Yasa is going to be sacrificing himself for the greater good here, so the rest of the team can peel away from here and not concede too many kill points to Revenge.
Because just a little bit of an emote there, teasing the players of Geek Fam. Whether that pisses them off, we'll have to wait and see. It's all dependent on how they react in the next matchup. They've got 1 more game to go. And the players of Eastern, Pando EWG on the other hand. Jace, beautiful spray from afar. Single tap, one after the other. Manchai, God name, frame taken out. Exact dropped like he's hot by Manchai and he's past 12. As the player on the side of Axis circles around. Neptune goes up against 3 players. Grab, drops ball, MX. Neptune finds Manchai. Axis turning things around. Just the duo alone. Can they manage to bag all of them out? Manchai takes down yet another. Arab puts down Hazik. Neptune gets another one. Axis Esports with just the duo eliminates Pando EWG. What a play, Neptune. And the Indonesian import still running circles around teams.
Oh my goodness, how quickly that fell apart for EWG. I thought Jays was going to keep that distance there and keep that suppressing fire, but he saw that the front line of EWG collapsed way too quickly, so he had to approach, and with the saves, with the blue zone also closing in there, that just made things even worse for EWG. And what a win there for Axis. Even though they lose a couple of their members, they should be able to get the buybacks thanks to those eliminations now. So they will be, and the revive station also as a reward there for winning that battle. I mean, things just work out well for Axis, didn't it?
Yeah, everything's working out in their favor, man. Revival platform obviously gonna bring back their team members in here. The circle, though, is doing quite a bit of damage, so it's all gonna be about how much of medkits does the guy have on him. The circle's not too far away, so he just needs to hustle on in. Farang, on the other hand, they'll need to deal with the Illustrados. The Illustrados have not been bringing on a lot of heavy action into the competition in terms of pressure against all of the other teams. So Farang does have the upper hand in this engagement just purely based on performance. But the defensive side is on the side of Illustrados. Farang needs to make their way ahead, so it's all about how they line up their glue walls here, Victor.
Yeah, they're gonna have to line up well because there's not much cover between other than the trees or the fences. So you have to be really tactical about those placements there. Now that one
Oh, this grenade. What a nade!
Ooh, a lot of damage on the Mekto. He's gonna have to watch out though because another grenade is gonna be coming his way. Blasts on the top of that blue wall there. Mekto now force of all, but another grenade just heads him down. And Kubat does get the knockdown in time though, and now the rest of them are scrambling and try to stabilize this. Farang now has a building between themselves and Estrado Huegos, but Huegos doesn't have a lot of cover in order to be able to move up onto Farang here, and they don't really have the man advantage either. And watch out, hard to get now, getting into the mix as well. They're actually suppressing Estrado's Huegos, and this is happening very well for Farang because now they can both assault Estrado's Huegos at the same time.
Yeah, hard to get, steals away a kill, and Farang disengaged. Farang says, all right, you guys go ahead. We want no part of this because we will prefer to find a defensive position for ourselves. Farang finds a hut, and the players of hut to get fired. They lose Stratos, but AKO is here to play as well. Newbie drops Batman, and the players of hut to get a taste of their own medicine as Aries runs away. Charge Buster in hand. Newbie has the exact same gun, charging it up perfectly. Aries steps on into his crosshair. Batman eliminated, but Aries just hanging on for his dear life as he recovers himself, finally put down onto the ground, and it's still Newbie with all of the damage.
Oh my goodness, it's like watching a WWE match where new wrestlers just coming in time after time. AV Radicals getting into the mix as well. They're forcing the last member, Stratos Huegos, to run away, but no, out in the open there. Zipdo gets the kill. Oh, sorry, there's going to be another kill there onto Huegos, so to get eliminated right now. The 10th team, 10th place is only the best they could do. AV Radicals now have the man advantage. They're going to try to find the rest of Geek Fam here. Only one member is appearing on my screen right now. I wonder if they know where it is, but the thing is, AKO is also engaged in this battle using the glue walls to try to keep themselves between themselves and AV Radicals. Newbie, almost gets caught out 2-1.
Oh!
Shotgun straight to your face there, 2-1. AKO does Newbie, still putting in the hurt there onto AV Radicals. Now they're trying to recover things here, but AKO does have slight advantage here. But unfortunately, the knockdown there is going to eliminate one of the members in this fight right now. Newbie, he's caught out in the corner. No, there's no way in, no way out. The blue wall's going to get busted down with this little throw there. He's not going to be long for this wall. Once it cracks down, he's going to be out, and auto knockout out of the competition.
And that's the answer. Auto knockout can go ham against all of the rest, but when Group A drops on in for the action, auto knockout gets the KO for themselves. ITX, on the other hand, holding on for their dear lives, but they are doing great against Revenge so far. Nell taken out of the equation, but still 3 more players stand tall, and they go in straight up for Torp. Now, Kemal and Torp, he has got a good gun to sustain the CQC, but 2v1 is just not enough for him. Shook drops him like it's hot with a charge buster. Yasta from afar gets one player from the side of QR, but a lot of time for recovery here. But AV Radicals moving on in to finish off QR, which means Geek Fam can eat up the players of AV Radicals.
Busy like bees are AV Radicals right now, but no one's going to want to watch out though. Oh, unfortunately, that's going to be a knockdown. Wine1 does get the knockdown to Shanks though, and Kazu is also out for the count. But then now AV Radicals a little bit in trouble here. They're going to have to fight inside this doorway. Blue Wall sent up here so they can get a revive now, but then QR are going to be taking positions right up on the first floor. So it's making a little bit of a break right now, allowing AV Radicals to regain their strength. But now they have QR completely cornered in this building right now. Can they assault them though? No, it looks like they're peeling away right now because Geek Fam is shooting them from the outside here, and hard to get in the meantime. Gets eliminated because they bumped into Farang a little bit too hard there, and Farang does eliminate the last member of AV Radicals.
Hazik knows Hyper's just behind that wall. He just needs to stand up. AWM, one shot downer, and that's an easy elimination point. Hyper pops his head out. Hazik, too good. One of the best snipers out there, and he belongs to Geek Fam. Into the next circle, but AV Radicals was saved as well through all of that chaos. They managed to pick up Ramiel, and Ramiel's really important for the next engagement, mainly because he has the AWM in hand. But Thanamo gets dropped. Thanamo needs to be picked right back up because he's the one with the grenade launcher, which can make a world of difference in this next circle.
Yeah, north, south, east, and west. Farang on the north, Geek Fam on the south, AV Radicals on the eastern side. And in the meantime, Farang is spotting AV Radicals' blue wall, trying to break them down efficiently here to prevent any cover between them because there's not a lot of cover in this final circle here. So those blue walls, they need to burn them out as quickly as they can. Intex at the moment still locking a bit of battle because they bumped into Farang right now, who's fresh off that victory earlier on against another squad. Now the blue wall busters are going to be coming coming out to force out any more of the glue walls to be burnt from ITX here.
Oh.
Still able to hold his own for now, but Jezebel unfortunately going to be forced to fall back a little bit, and right up against the edge here. Ooh, the circle landing close to where Farang is, so they don't really have to move position, but that's going to put GeekFam a little bit too far out. They're going to have to wander out in the middle of the field, and that's going to put them right into the sights of ITX.
Ramiel from afar knocks down a player from the side of Geek Fam, and Mocha takes Apis out of the equation. Ramiel secures that elimination point, and Hazik out of the equation, which means Geek Fam is nerfed. Farang, on the other hand, still trying to keep a hold on them. Tactical Intex went in for that engagement, but they backed away. Good grenade by Jembal. Ritu's down on the ground, but Wine trades out Jespu. Jembal takes Ritu's out of the equation, but Farang down by 2 players. Jembal and 2bad have to get the job done, but Jembal himself gets taken down. It's Ramiel, the guy that got picked up earlier on, and that AWM doing so much of damage from afar. AB Radicals with 2 more players alive and kicking. They're doing a number on the players of Farang, but it's Tactical Intex with the advantage here. They've got more numbers on the battlefield in terms of a squad.
And GeekFam is just hiding, waiting in the wings there, just waiting at the last possible moment to join in this battle as Farang gets themselves eliminated now. So 3 teams still remain. It's going to be ITX, AV Radicals, and GeekFam. Oh, unfortunately gets himself caught out there on the side. So it looks like it's down to these 2v3 right now as ITX
Hanamo.
moving on to Tinamo. Tinamo right on the outside here. It's going to try his best, send some grenade out, but no, he's out and exposed. Remiel one last man standing, I think, for AV Radicals, and now he's going to
what a play.
they take the booyah!
Tactical Intex. Dude, I'm mind blown, man. 9 different rounds in the competition so far, and 9 different teams have picked up the booyah. Tactical Intex, the 9th team.
Yeah, wow, this is such competition we're seeing here in the Snapdragon Pro Series. Not a single team able to nail down 2 booyahs at all, and Tactical Intex, the next team now to earn a booyah in this group stage, and certainly will be savoring this victory now because that's a lot of points now for them. Hopefully it's going to be able to put them very high up on that leaderboard.
And that just makes Group C the most dominant group in the competition so far when it comes to the counts of booyah. That's the 4th booyah over for Group C. And Group D only has a single one from Juke, so we are waiting for the final 2 matches of the day when Group D jumps back into the fray. But one of the biggest questions was, how will Auto Knockout do against Group A? We found out, 8th spot, that's the best. But
Yeah.
we've got another round though.
We do have another round. It's going to be a little slightly different map as well, so there's still a chance for Auto Knockout to prove to us that they do have what it takes to meet against teams like AB Radical, like Farang, like Revenge. But I do have to give the credit, though, to those squads in particular, though, because they finally step up to the plate. I'm really excited to see that they're getting into a lot more battles this time around and actually winning those battles.
You know, the most impressive team for me, hands down, is AV Radicals, because you can see the other teams kind of playing, you know, the safer path and the safer rotations in towards the next circle and the following one and the following one. AV Radicals just runs in a straight line. They don't care who appears in front of them. They don't care what sort of a situation or a compound that they are stuck in, because they're trying to push themselves to the very, very edge of the world of Free Fire. They're trying to put themselves in the toughest of positions so that they can engage with teams in the most craziest of locations and still walk away the victors. You know, it doesn't end up with them picking up the booyah time and time again, but what it does do is get them prepared for the final stages of competition, because when you get to master each and I mean, look at that, man. So much of aggression and still the 2nd place. AV Radicals is phenomenal.
Exactly. I mean, despite the fact they're not really, you know, swimming in the amount of booyahs here, they're swimming in terms of kill points for sure. And look at the 10 points. I mean, to Auto Knockout's 5, so there's already 5 points taken away from that kill lead that Auto Knockout had from day number 1. So already, AV Radicals are starting to make the climb, and we're all here for it.
And the question is, with this phenomenal performance of AV Radicals, even without that booyah, 2nd place in 10 eliminations, 19 points, is that enough to replace the players of Auto Knockout from the number 1 spot? I highly doubt it, because it's just 11 points above them. So Auto Knockout has been able to put a little bit of space once again between themselves as well as AV Radicals. And hot on their heels of AV Radicals, we still do find Farang on the overall leaderboard earlier on. We did see AV Radicals and Farang in very close proximity with each other. Quick reactions caught up in that 2nd place by the end of yesterday, and they're still keeping up in terms of pace with the rest of the teams out there. 11 points isn't anything to shout about, but you know, they'll take that, man.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, again, you just take every single point you can get. And so far, I mean, Auto Knockout does have the advantage of, having that lead, so they can afford to, lose out some points, but they cannot afford to lose too much. Technical index, though, damage 5,000, 3 headshots only, though, but it's still enough. It's still enough for them, in that final circle battle here to be able to take that booyah, and hopefully that's going to be more than enough for them in this competition.
Yeah, shout out to production. I don't know how are they getting the every single round's leaderboard prepared so quickly in terms of graphics. So you guys absolutely rock. Snapdragon Pro Series for the win. But at the end of the day, what I want to highlight is production with their camera work. We did not miss a single engagement in comparison to yesterday, man. We caught every single bit of it out there on the battlefield. So shout out to all of the observers. They've been doing a fantastic job in here so far to highlight each and every single one of the teams as well as their best gameplays. Now, round number 1 for the players of Auto Knockout didn't really turn out all that too well against Group A. Let's go for round number 2 right after the break later on, because I'm really curious to see what's the hitback going to be from Auto Knockout, because not only is this their second day, but it's also their first day under the brand of AKO after being dropped by Blacklist International. When you're dropped by such a huge organization, it will take a toll on your mental health. You are going to be discouraged. So I do not think that a little bit of a downside in terms of performance is going to be a huge shocker. But if they can still perform well after being dropped by Blacklist International, that will show the true worth of the players of AKO.
Exactly. I mean, it's again proving grounds for AKO right now to really show off the potential that we saw from them from yesterday here.
Yeah.
So no doubt it is a little bit disappointing that they got completely wiped wiped on the floor there by Group A here. But nevertheless, Kalahari is a different map. They can definitely show that they do have the ability to come back from even these kind of defeats here, and that's exactly what we want to see, right? But conversely, for AB Radicals and Farang, I mean, they're now climbing up. They've already recognized that yesterday was a bad day for them.
Yeah.
Now they're starting to put in even better performances here, and hopefully this is going to result in a very, very tight race for the top.
Tight race, but let's see exactly what the players of Tactical Index have to say. We've got an interview segment. Let's hop onto that and see exactly what happens.
Untuk mendapatkan booyah, adakah Tactical Index lebih selesa untuk mendapatkan top 12 untuk mara ke peringkat seterusnya?
Saya tak yakin tu.
Oh, tak yakin?
Tapi insyaAllah lah.
Kenapa agaknya tak yakin tu?
Sebab banyak masalah tu.
Banyak masalah. Apa
Banyak
tu?
masalah.
Cuba cerita sedikit.
Sebab yang satu, kita orang semua main online. Kita orang tak boleh datang kat satu tempat. Di satu, masalah lain lagi. Tapi insyaAllah lah Tactical Index akan buat yang terbaik. Jadi saya ingin bertanya kepada Tactical Index, selain daripada pasukan anda, pasukan manakah yang anda rasa akan memberikan cabaran yang paling hebat dalam Snapdragon Pro Series ini? Axis.
Kenapa tu?
Sebab Asyik kan, dia pandai analisis. So ada kan dia buat benda-benda.
Ada something tu, ada something yang nak sampaikan tu.
Lain macam je dia.
Lain macam tu. Habis ada apa-apa soalan yang tanya?
Tak ada apalah rasanya. Cukup dah banyak lah tu.
Okey, jadi mungkin ada apa-apa yang Zabnu nak katakan kepada peminat ataupun kepada semua penyokong-penyokong Tactical Index. Itu dah lekik.
Aduh.
Katakan thank you lah support kami. Teruskan support kami lah.
Alright. Okay, baik. Thank you Zabnu dan semoga berjaya di perlawanan yang seterusnya. Alright, all the best.
So many issues. It's that's still able to perform though. So I mean, still deserves some credit actually.
I really love how he does not get a little too egoistic with the booyah, right? And he's still very much down to earth. It's like, yeah, we won, but you know, we're not too excited with the win because we don't know. Because this is going to be a tough competition. There's so many great teams striving to make it through to the regionals. Only the top 12 and they're not so confident. But what I do like is how humble he is, right? And Tactical Intex, although they're not the most dominant team, they've got the tactics. No pun intended. They really do. And I mean, that was clearly proven in the previous engagement, right? They could have gone guns blazing in that final engagement, but they chose to kind of stay in the backlines, allow the other teams to kind of do battle first. Because initially they were supposed to go in with that full-on engagement against Farang, which they peeled away from. They saw another team engaging in Farang, and they said, okay, you know what, now's not our time. Let's just wait. Let's bide our time. And that was the perfect decision, because that ended up in a booyah. And if they continue to make decisions like that, I'm pretty sure we can see Tactical Intex over the regionals later on. On that note, a quick short break. When we come back, the final match for Group C versus Group A.
The Snapdragon Pro Series is brought to you by Snapdragon Elite Gaming, Monster Energy, and Kachi Shop.
They don't want it with me. You got a problem with me? Love, you don't want it with me. Man, you won't ever stop me. Who y'all really got a problem with? Who y'all really trying to solve them with? Who don't really like the sound of this? Who come with me getting down to this? You better step back, get your neck cracked, get laid down where you best step. Better check that with a fresh map. Get lost now with no extract. Like, look, that's all me. Got my number, don't call me. We eating up, that's all beef. You freezing up, that's y'all's team. Cause we don't really lose no more. All about heating up, leaving that cold. You can see beating up, killing that show. I ain't about giving up, no. Nah, cause they don't want it with me. Look, you got a problem with me. Look, cause y'all don't want it with me. If you start a fire with me, then you never gonna stop me. Sound the alarm. We about to go on. You getting it wrong. Time to go on.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. This is the Snapdragon Pro Series Season 2 Asia Pacific, brought to you by Snapdragon Elite Gaming, Monster Energy, as well as Kachi Shop. My name's AJ. I'm the Mustachio, down here with the one and only Victor Cax, bringing you guys all of the action from the day. Yesterday to today, so far, 9 matches have gone, and they've been tremendous. But what's been more amazing is not a single repeat Booyah winner. That's crazy.
It's kind of crazy, yeah. I mean, you'd think at some point one of these teams at least would get 2.
Yeah.
And I think as the day goes on, the probability probably would get a little bit higher. But
Yeah.
it'll be massively surprising here if we end up with 12 different Booyah winners all throughout the day. But oh my god, AB Radicals, 79 points now to Auto Knockouts 82. They're definitely closing that gap now.
Oh yeah, man. I mean, Farang, once again, still hot on their heels. And look who is here to say hello. Tactical Intex, 70 20 points, and they're just now a stone's throw away from that #1 spot. And Tactical Intex was saying that they're not confident to finish in the top 12 by the time we're done and dusted with the group stage. Are you kidding me? Talk about being humble, Victor.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they're just being realistic, you know? I mean, again, from the sounds of that interview, they are certainly experiencing some issues, but you know, the fact that in spite of those issues, you're still able to make it up to the top, you still have to give some credit to Tactical Intex here. I mean, they're only 3 points behind Farang, and Farang conversely only about 6 points behind AB Radicals. It's getting very, very tied up on the top here, and I like this. This is just going to show how competitive this region is when it comes to Free Fire.
That is something I most definitely will agree with. Revenge on their slow climb up to the top, but they will have to patiently wait, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Why? Because now's just not their time just yet, but they can't wait too long because this next game is their final opportunity of the day to climb a little bit higher on the overall leaderboard. If they waste this, they will have to wait till tomorrow, which obviously isn't the best of things to do. They're going up against Group C, and the greatest titan within Group C has to be Auto Knockout. Quick Reactions does, you know, show some signs of life, but that's not all the time. I don't see a lot of consistency from the team. A little disappointingly, because yesterday they were pretty much on fire.
Yeah, they were. They actually had some really good battles yesterday, so I'm quite surprised we aren't seeing a lot of Quick Reactions so far. But granted, that was still first match here for Group C. Maybe they might surprise us in the next one. Kalahari, of course, is a very different style of game play that you do compared to Bermuda, so there might be an opportunity for Quick Reactions to actually make the most of it. And if I do recall correctly, I think Quick Reactions tend to have slightly better matches during Kalahari itself, so it remains to be seen so far. But what's for sure, though, is that Auto Knockout is going to have the work cut out for them right now, because in spite of the high that the match experienced in day #1, I think that the honeymoon period, so to speak, is definitely way over at this point.
So the question is, do you think Quick Reactions are going to be making their way up to the top as well, or do you think it's going to be some other team? Let us know exactly what your predictions are in our Twitch broadcast. You can hop on in there and vote for the team that you think is going to be able to rise up to the top. One of the other predictions that I'm looking forward from you guys as well is whether or not Auto Knockout will be able to maintain their #1 spot after this game, because this next matchup is where everything changes. It's the final opportunity for Auto Knockout to play their last game of the day, and it also happens to be the final match for Group A. And so many teams from the side of Group A are on the verge of dethroning Auto Knockout from that #1 spot.
Exactly. I mean, now they caught up. They're only like 3 points away. I mean, just a simple. If let's say
you sneeze and you're in the #1 spot,
right? So the margins are just too close now. If there's going to be any moment that Auto Knockout needs to have all hands on deck, it is going to be on this match right now. Kalahari is up next. We're going live with our players right now, and look at Meta K9 already caught up in another battle right from the get-go again. This time, though, is up against Tactical Intex, and Tactical Intex seems to have them quite surrounded inside this corner here, this juncture. Not quite the best of cover here for Meta to get themselves eliminated one by one. Delete now trying to get himself out of trouble, but he's going to wander straight into the guns of Yanel. They're going to be chasing him down, trying to get a knockout. Not quite getting shots done, even though he had a double Uzi. That still didn't help him in this close quarter battle.
The best end to a matchup with the Booyah, and the best start to the following game. But look at who's right behind them. One stray player from the side of Auto Knockout is here to say hello to the players of Tactical Intex. Question is, where has he hidden himself away? Nell now from the back. Zen-OP drops him like he's hot with a P90. A lot of bullets in that mag. Zen-OP finds yet another. Look at the bravado of this player. Rushing on in. He gets Mocha as well. Finally dropped. And Zapnu saves the day. But the damage has been done. The rest of the players from the side of Auto Knockout, where are they? Because if they had flown in alongside him, they should have been able to catch Tactical Intex with their pants down.
I mean, they might have just gone for the split up, you know. Maybe they're just going to go around and try to farm for possible kills, while the rest of the main squad just focuses on the looting here. So I think Zen-OP that's why he was so brave, because he knew that either way he was not going to survive that encounter. So he's going to see at least if he can get maybe one elimination point here to help the chances of his team. But unfortunately, KI Meta, they were just already fresh off that battle with ITX, so they were already just kind of like in that kind of fire mode, so to speak. So they pretty much handled him pretty well.
Spade spots a player out from K9 Meta. Presco might just become dead. Spade turns around at the very final second. He could have spotted him out. What a blunder in terms of decision making, and that just means K9 Meta has a breadth of second opportunity.
But
they might be able to get to that revival point.
I mean, but then again, for Spade in particular, like I think his main focus is just really to keep control over that revive station because Presco, he's the last member of his team right now. He needs that revive station, so I think that it's going to be a more tactical decision for him to just hold position there and just wait for anyone who's looking to get to the revive station and eliminate them. So he's really trying to play a more opportunistic game there, and you can see that he's also split out from the rest of his squad because right now the rest of Farang, again, they're going to be focused on that refinery. They did this earlier on in the previous Kalahari match, and they're doing the same strategy right now, which is just to take control over the most important spot, the high point, the highest ground on Kalahari itself, and use that to their advantage once it gets towards the late game stage. So very much according to the plan right now for Farang. The question is, are there other teams right now that are going to be able to interrupt or disrupt that kind of tactic here? In the meantime, Revenge, they're also going for a slight split here. Two members wrapping around the side of Mammoth. This might actually end up becoming an encounter with EWG here, Pando, as Monito, Fall MX putting up some shields. They were just anticipating some sort of battle as they approach this revive station here. So again, holding control over these revive stations are crucial because it can help you to suppress teams that are already down and potentially earn you maybe some free eliminations here. But DCOS spots them out, starts putting some shots in, so EWG knows they're going to be assaulted right about now. The thing is that do they know where the positions are? Because Revenge, they go for that split right now. We've got two members on the high ground on Mammoth there. They will be able to provide suppressive fire from a distance while the rest of the squad tries to flank around the side. DCOS now making his way to the tents here. EWG just quickly peeling away. Looks like they don't want to get too bogged down in this fight right now, as now they just concede that ground to Revenge, and Revenge takes over the revive station, but DCOS gets caught out in the meantime, so EWG using this opportunity to pull back to find some good cover. Now good shot there by Ipan's right in between the glue wall and the trees. What a shot there by Jace.
Oh, Jace, the absolute master. I mean, you needed that just absolute perfect timing, man. The guy was just darting back and forth between glue walls. Guy takes a shot, drops him, Ipans. Just, I did not see that coming at all. But of course, not much damage done as they quickly recover their player, picking him right back up. Ipans gets patched up. DCOS right behind Monito. Big damage in here. Ice Grenade continues to damage him up. DCOS! One more, and a great rush by Pando EWG. And let's take note of one great big fact. It was Revenge that rushed in towards Pando EWG. Pando EWG dropped away. They secured a good defensive site and then went back in there for that Revenge attack, and they turned the tables.
Wow, I mean, revenge on the Revenger, isn't it? Avengers, maybe, here for EWG, but right now, AB Radicals also has a member here, Wine1, has also wandered into this fight right now, so EWG not quite out of the woods yet. Ipan's, in the meantime, just holding out on the south side of Mammoth here, just trying to keep out of trouble to allow AB Radicals and EWG to sort this one out. Who actually has control over this revive station here is a very crucial point to kind of hold control of, but I don't know whether or not I don't quite know whether who has a better position at the moment, because just using that cover at the moment, just playing very, very tight tactics here. We see AB Radicals already starting to make some moves. One of the members going for that very far left-hand flank around the containers here. Oh, he's gonna get spotted though. The EWJs is gonna be caught out a little bit, and now he's in the world of hurt here. Puts up the glue wall to try to stay alive for now, but the rest of the members need to try to stabilize this fight here. Needs to try to find the other members of AB Radicals, but Tinanamon already spraying from a distance there, already putting some damage onto EWG, so it's putting them down quite a bit. EWG may be in a bit of a spot of trouble right now because AB Radicals seem to have this team fight right now on lock.
Oh, smart play, Ramiel from afar. Pando EWG, they managed to get the tables turned a little bit earlier on, but against AB Radicals, I believe this is going to be quite the challenge. Ramiel, one more shot. AWM hits his foot, manages to knock down Monito as well. AB Radicals now, Wine, this is the best CQC player that you do not want to go up against, but the time turner is going to be protecting the players of Pando EWG. They break down the glue wall just to their detriment, and they open up the doors for Wine to knock down one, knock down two, and it's a beautiful wipe strike by AB Radicals.
Where was this AV Radicals yesterday? This is amazing plays here from AV. I mean, maybe they're finally woken up on day number 2. And wow, when you look at that, 24 points already. AV is on a roll now, ladies and gentlemen. And certainly, look at that. Geek Fam caught out in the danger zone. And look at that, not much cover in between as well. They're trying to huddle inside a structure right now. But I think the Stratos Luegos also knows that Geek Fam is there. So they're just keeping them suppressed right now. Glue Wall is going to try to be broken here by Yadope as the rest of Geek Fam attempts to try to escape away. Now that the danger zone has already cleared out, now they can try to move out away. They're just running out in the open right now, potentially exposing them to danger, but fortunately for them, Uego's just holding back, just waiting to see where they're going to reposition themselves and plan the next line of attack.
Yeah, good decision by McRory to back away because the guy had absolutely nothing on himself. No medkits, no grenades, no glue walls, which means McRory cannot get into an engagement. He needs to run away, but Haze catches his back with the AC-80, drops him like it's hot. McRory out of the equation, and Ilustrados now are gonna face quite a bit of challenge here. 4v3, they don't have the revival point active. They can't bring McRory back. They just have to get out of command post.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, it is a 3v3 though, because like Geek Fam having lost that one member, so now it's a little bit even, but nevertheless, Waco's just not going to engage too long now as Geek Fam moves up alongside as the blue zone starts to clear, close in around them towards the safe zone. Geek Fam seems to be quite focused on trying to get something out on the outside here, and perhaps try to gatekeep AV Radicals because they're around the corner there. Hazik definitely spots them at a distance now, so they know that AV Radicals on the outside and inside the blue zone. It's going to be very, very hurtful to try to take a fight here, but Geek Fam's going for it anyway, keeping them suppressed. They already got one knockdown. Can they find another though? AV Radicals could be in trouble if they can't get out of this fight here, but Geek Fam, they're just pushing in. They're continuing to chase them down. My goodness, this is some aggression is showing here as Upbase puts out Buster right now to get rid of those blue walls. They're preventing him from making this flanking maneuver work. Geek Fam still trying to find even more knockouts here as they collide with AV Radicals. They've managed to take Wine down on the knockout right now, trying to find even more, but Upbase is already down as well. Meantime, look at that. They're just bringing out the shotguns here. CQC, it's going to be the battle between these guys, but they have to finish it as quickly as possible. This is... They just managed to get the kills. That's done. Wine's out. Wine is out. Geek Fam still has a man advantage right now. They just need to find 2-1 because he's the only man seems to be standing right now.
Can he? Yeah!
He managed to get out just in the nick of time there. So Rimmel is able to get back to the safe zone while Geek Fam finishes off here inside the blue zone.
And what a play. What a battle outside of the circle. And Ramiel with the beautiful gameplay for survival manages to build a maze of glue walls, use that as cover, get onto the launch pad, and shoots himself straight into command post inside the vicinity of that circle. He gets to heal up, and he also has an opportunity to bring back the rest of AV Radicals. They are the kill leaders of this lobby. He's got a bike right in front of him as well. Everything's playing in the way of the players of AV Radicals, but they've taken one too many risks. The question is now, will they be punished? With the final survivor out there, everything depends on him.
Axis completely eliminating QR in a very fast battle there. So right now they're already up by the safe zone and seems to be kind of the favorites at the moment, at least according to ITX. But nevertheless though, for Farang, they're going to be up against Revenge here, and with Kamal Tom still up in the front line, he's definitely going to be praying very hard. If someone wanders right in front of his shotgun there, bomb's going to be sent out. Jezebel forces him to come out there. Too bad it's going to be coming around the side, and Kamal Tom gets knocked down. So now I think this is already looking bad for Revenge. They're going to keep cooling out or just waiting to see whether or not Farang is going to wander straight into this zone here. Ipan's hiding inside the building here. Another member hiding by the cliffs while Farang scans around trying to see if there's any more targets for them. As in the meantime, Tactical Intex gets an elimination done. They're now your kill leaders here as Farang watches them from up above the cliffs.
Ramiel stuck between a rock and a very hard place. That hard place in the form of a squad. That rock is a huge huge mountain just towards his right. We don't know if or not he has a grappling hook in hand, so that's gonna be quite the sticky situation. Remiel doesn't really have a revival platform anywhere beside him, and that's gonna be quite a bit of an issue. Shook from afar as Too Bad gets dropped. Farang just nerfed a little bit, but they are in the perfect position to pick their team member right back up and get him back in fighting position. But Zapno too quick stakes that kill for himself.
Oh, that AC-80 just hurts so much, right? I mean, that's a good pickup here for any of the teams to use here. Remember, if you do more than 2 shots, that bonus damage there, and that allows them to get his eliminations done very, very quickly from a distance. And especially on a map like Kalahari, where there's a lot of space in between cover here, having a good weapon definitely works out very well. In the meantime, AKO has been a little bit silent so far. Geek Fam has now landed themselves on top of where IJ is. Hakimi, unfortunately, is in a little bit of exposed position. AKO are actually shooting them from the other side of the building here, so IJ can just hold on while they wait to see what the conclusion of this little long-range battle is between Geek Fam and AKO is, while they just hold tight, just wait and see whether or not they can clear out the survivors. But Geek Fam, in the meantime, though, they know that the IJ is inside the building. They're trying to set up a siege here, but with Yasta getting taken down on the top there, I think the Geek Fam is going to have to deal with the problem AKO sooner rather than later.
It's Stratos backing away. The players of AV Radicals have been taken out of the equation, so this just means it's all out in the open, all out for the taking for Farang. Farang needs to get the booyah. Farang needs to dominate this circle for sure. K9 meta as they get eliminated from this equation. The players of Geek Fam, very close vicinity to the players of AKO and Newbie from up top. This is the perfect angle of attack. AKO has got the bottom taken care of as well as the top, as Revenge gets taken out of the equation. Illustrados are back in action.
My goodness, the grenade launcher from McCrory, I think, got a double and maybe even a triple kill right there, and Geek Fam gets eliminated immediately. Oh my goodness, AKO's Newbie just found a perfect spot there to snipe down onto Geek Fam and completely eliminates them from the map now. So IJ, in the meantime, going to use the cover of the drone right now to try to see if they can spot any other members. They do see a member of Farang just close by to them, Jezebel, but he is completely alone. AKO, in the meantime, still at full strength, holds out in the complex just to the south of the Bayfront. But now only they are moving into the safe zone now. You got to watch out for Axis Esports on the north inside because they've been a big threat so far. And right now, it's coming in very, very close. 5 teams still remaining in this circle.
Farang needs 9 points more than AKO. Tactical Intex needs 12 points more than AKO. Can they dethrone that #1 spot? Hold an auto knockout from this matchup in itself. This is the final game for Group A as well as Group C, and everything's on the line for the team AKO. Axis Esports from afar. Tactical Intex will have to deal with Axis Esports, at least for the time being. Great Blue Wall Melter dropped down, and Raph has to deal with that. 50 more HP, pulls up more of those glue walls to barricade himself in, but down they go, one after the other. From the back, it is gonna be the players of AKO now teasing them as well. Xac gets taken out of the equation. Zapnu has got the grenade launcher in hand. Newbie drops Flame. It's just all-out chaos on the battlefield.
Yeah, so messy there. The amount of glue walls in between leads to providing some good cover here for ITX, who can afford to huddle behind this rock here while they try to take pot shots at Axis from across the street. But Axis now seeing the blue zone closing around them. I'm going to be forced to move out of position very soon, and exposes them to ITX. Walkout gets the kill done and dusted there. So now with them out of the way, AKO now can safely move into the safe zone there, but they're going to be meeting with IJ, who have already set up base right around the south side of the circle. Yanel now trying to get into the safe zone here, but he's getting some crossfire coming from AKO side as new. Now moving very aggressively, tries to take on a mock up at the glue wall, prevents him from getting the shot done. Now he tries to maneuver around, puts up the glue wall to prevent shots coming in from ITX's side, but this is a very, very tight battle. Now the circle closes onto the final one here, and man, oh man, looks like it does seem like AKO has a slight height advantage here, and a lot of clear ground between the two of them. Zipno gets caught up. Newbie again with aggression gets the elimination done there. Killing spree here for Noob.
This is the answer. Auto knockout maintains that #1 spot. Nobody else can dethrone them. Farang had an opportunity, but the Ilustrados Huegos ruined their opportunity as they managed to take 2 of their players out of the equation. And now Jespu's all alone, lonely as he is. He approaches the players of Ilustrados. That backstab is gonna go to no avail as Farang gets eliminated from the equation. Newbie drops Fura. Yado goes down, and AKO gets the booyah. And they maintain their spot on that #1 rank, and they're the only team to get 2 booyahs in the competition so far.
Woo! What a way to make a statement. Just when we were starting to put them down a little bit at the
just a little
beginning, now they finally step up to the plate, and wow. Newbie, still the monster that he is. The aggression, the positioning, the decisions that he makes. Timing, exactly.
Too good. Too good. I mean, a couple of mistakes by Tactical Intex as well. I forgot the player's name. He had 3 grenades on him. He could have just tossed out those grenades. He could have made a huge difference for himself, but instead he just chose to go with a gunfight, which I really don't understand, because the grenade is just such a beautiful boon that is gifted to you in a game of Free Fire. The AoE damage, especially in a circle that chaotic. I mean, you just gotta toss it, man, and just pray that it hits someone.
Yeah,
the probability is high.
Exactly. If you just save it and you don't use it, it's just wasted at the end of the day. So why didn't he do it? I mean, again, it was still very chaotic, to be fair, and probably the more focus on the gunfighting aspect than really just using those throwables. But certainly that just really saved all those glue walls with that final circle, didn't they? And look at this one, 1-1. I mean, just a perfect setup there. All just huddled together inside that little glue wall circle, and it's just easy pickings here for the CQC master.
Yeah, and AB Radicals, though, they did manage to go out, guns blazing, but they also went out back to the lobby, guns blazing, just a little bit too aggressive. But it just was so shocking to see so many of the teams who was close to dethroning AKO in that final circle. We're mainly talking about Tactical Intex and Farang. Once again, Tactical Intex needed 12 more than auto knockout. Farang needed just 9 points more than auto knockout. Both of them bombed out, and auto knockout got the booyah, which was just them standing up tall and saying, "Sit down, boys. We are here to run the show."
Run the show they did. Air guitar as well in the background there for one of the members
Pillow guitar.
of AKO. Oh, yeah, pillow guitar indeed. Wow, 28 points to a Tactical Intex of 16. I mean, they're certainly going to keep them on top for quite a while now. AV Radicals only managed to muster a total of 7 points, putting them just ahead of Quick Reactions there. So, man, I mean, still ended up being a good match here for Auto Knockout.
That I'll have to agree, right? And Farang picking up 11 points, Geek Fam with the 9 to their side. Quick Reactions this time, pretty slow in terms of picking up points for themselves in the A spot with a total of 5 for themselves. Hard to Get bombed out a little bit too early. They only showed up yesterday. Today has been a day where Hard to Get, we barely got the chance to see them in action. In fact, they found it hard to get any screen time whatsoever as they bombed out one too many times. Pando EWG, great start yesterday. Revenge, great start today, but that's all they could do for themselves. No consistency in a lot of the teams out there, unlike Auto Knockout, who just showed us moments of weakness, but when it mattered the most, in the final game of the day for the group, they managed to hit that booyah. Once again, the only team in the competition so far to have 2 booyahs to their names. And look at this, man. 6,000 damage, but 14 headshots. These guys are just way too accurate.
Yeah, I just wonder how many of his headshots were done by Newbie or like...
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is that the players themselves are just so impressive to watch in action there.
Yep.
I mean, the timings, the ability, and like the aggression, the unbridled aggression coming out from this side is just a sight to behold in these kind of team fights. And it's just perfect for these guys, because they can easily catch out teams that were just too focused or too distracted in the sense, and just capitalize so heavily on that. So very well done for AKO. It was going to be a bit of a question mark actually coming in today, because now they're going to be facing all the big teams. I think safe to say though, they do have what it takes.
We do have an interview segment for the players of AKO, so without further ado, let's jump on over to the Barca broadcast to see exactly what AKO has to say. I'm pretty sure this is going to be with Mr. D, their captain, so let's jump into it.
Azam baru, apa azam tu?
Kita orang apa? Tahu.
Jawablah.
Kita nak macam comeback balik. Dari bawah underdog.
I see. Okay. Boleh dikatakan Zen OP dan juga pemain sebenarnya dah lama dah dalam pasukan ini, dah lama berkecimpung dalam bidang Free Fire ini. Jadi kita nampak turun naik pasukan anda. Jadi apakah yang rasanya Zen OP ingin katakan kepada semua penonton di luar sana yang mungkin meragui kekuatan pasukan anda yang baru ini?
Tak ada apa, cuma teruskan support kita orang, tak kira jatuh atau bangun.
Okey, orang selalu mengatakan yang mana biasanya kalau orang yang dah berusia ni dah tak perform. Okay, ni yang saya maksudkan Mr. D lah. Tapi kita
Mr. D.
nampak dengan Mr. D, kita nampak masih lagi ada bisanya. Jadi apa sebenarnya rahsia di sebalik kejayaan pasukan anda untuk sampai ke tahap ini?
Doa daripada seorang Mr. D.
Doa
Dan juga
yang-
semangat dia.
I see. Baiklah. Jadi selain daripada pasukan Auto Knockout yang sekarang ini saya rasa di tangga pertama, agaknya pasukan yang mana yang akan memberikan tentangan yang paling hebat kepada pasukan Auto Knockout? Dan kenapa?
AV, Farang dan juga Expand.
Kenapa tu?
Kenapa?
Sebab diorang ni adalah top 3 terbaik MCPS.
Adakah sekarang ni Auto Knockout target untuk dapatkan top 12 ataupun terus top 3 supaya boleh layak ke peringkat seterusnya?
Top 3. Top 3.
Top 3
Kalau ada
terus
rezeki
lah.
top 3.
Kalau ada rezeki, insyaAllah. Jadi, sekali lagi, ada apa-apa yang ZOP ingin katakan kepada pastinya peminat-peminat luar sana daripada pasukan sebelumnya, kerana kita tahu Auto Knockout ni bukanlah pasukan yang orang tak kenal. Memang orang kena pasukan komuniti paling lama. Mungkin ada apa-apa yang anda ingin katakan kepada semua penyokong-penyokong dan peminat Auto Knockout?
Manja.
Terima kasih sebab support.
Itu je?
Daripada dulu sampai sekarang.
Itu je? Nampak sikit?
Macam tak ada semangat dia.
Tak bagilah.
Bagi semangat.
Kami champion!
Engkau lah.
Kau buat kau senang buat duit, kau senyap tadi.
Okey, Man.
cakap kan?
Cakap sikit lah. Bagilah.
Teruskan support diorang sampai ke Grand Final.
Dah confident Grand Final lah. Baiklah, semoga berjaya dan pastikan teruskan dan kekalkan momentum Auto Knockout. Baik, terima kasih saya ucapkan.
I tell you, it's a delight to watch each and every single interview segment that the Barca casters run because I just like to see Abier's reaction, man. The guy's just like... He's a handsome boy. He just thumbs up to the screen. But, you know, at the end of the day, Auto Knockout, a bunch of really confident boys who know exactly what to do out there on the battlefield. And more importantly, they know exactly who the threats are out there on the battlefield, especially when it comes to one of these group matchups, right? Once again, this was the storyline that we were really focusing on at the very start of the day. What will Auto Knockout be able to do against the Titan group of the competition? Because they've thrown in all of the big teams into Group A, but they've proven that it means absolutely nothing to them. And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you're wondering exactly what makes all of this action possible, it's all because of Snapdragon Elite Gaming, our main sponsors for the competition, as well as Monster Energy, because it is all about what you pump into your system and output in each and every single match out there on the battlefield.
Yeah, you unleash the beast there. Just
Amen.
inject the energy straight into your veins there. Check them out at monsterenergy.com/gaming. And last but not least, if you are running low on credits there, if you need a little bit of a top up, check out kachishop.com/my because they provide great deals for all the top ups for your favorite games and also discounts, most importantly, so you can get the bang for your buck whenever the next time you want to reload on your mobile games.
So right after this, we still have got Group B as well as Group D, who've got 2 matches. Biggest question is going to be, is one of them going to be able to challenge the players from Groups A as well as C in the overall leaderboard? We'll have to wait and see. A quick short break before we hop on into game number 5.
The Snapdragon Pro Series is brought to you by Snapdragon Elite Gaming, Monster Energy, and Kachi Shop.
All about heating up, leaving that cold. You can see me heating up, killing that show. I ain't about giving up, no. Nah, 'cause they don't want it with me. Look, you gotta cry with me. Look, 'cause y'all don't want it with me. If you start a fire with me, then you never gonna stop me. Ay, sound the alarm. Nah, y'all can't do that. Where your crew at? Y'all can't do that. Nah, where your crew at? Nah, man, cause now you alone. Yeah, get out of my zone. Man, cause now you alone. Love, get out of my zone. Nah, cause they don't want it with me. Love, you gotta cry with me. Love, cause y'all don't want it with me. If you start a fire with me, then you're never gonna stop me. Nah, cause they don't want it with me. Love, you gotta cry with me. Love, cause y'all don't want it with me. If you start a fire with me, then you're never gonna stop me.
Welcome to the place where dreams come true. Where everything you want can be yours. If and only if you're willing to work for them. You're willing to hurt for them. But most of all, you're willing to be first for them. Ha! Look, I'm going straight to the top. I don't know how I would stop, like it or not. I got some goals that I'm hitting. You hear what I'm spitting, it's hot. Look what I got, whole lot of passion and pain. The road to success is insane. Stay out my lane, cause I'm on a mission. I'm getting what stands in my way. Yeah, I'm a beast, I wouldn't play with me, baby. The way that I'm training is crazy and I do it daily. You wanna talk about drive? I got more drive than Mercedes. I've never been lazy. I'm in the room, it's a red alert. You wanna compete? Well, get better first. I got 10 toes in the dirt, push through the hurt just to show them my worth. I'm the best. Yeah, I'm the best. I never stress. I know what's next. I'm who they test, like we playing chess. But I'm unimpressed, so now let me flex. Ha. Yeah, I'ma work through the struggle and hurt, cause I know my worth, and I gotta be first. Ha. Yeah, I gotta be first. Look, I don't want anyone's sympathy. I understand what it's meant for me. I give my focus and energy. If it's meant to be, then it's meant to be. But mentally, I'm undefeated. They hear that and say I'm conceited. Like there's no reason. Like I don't beat them and come back again just to teach them that when you work under pressure, you reach higher measures. They'll try and bring you down, but you cannot let them, and only get better and focus on cheddar. Eye on the prize and you'll become a legend. Like, when I'm in the room, it's a red alert. You wanna compete? Well, get better first. I got 10 toes in the dirt, push through the hurt just to show them my work. I'm the best. Yeah, I'm the best. I never stress. I know what's next. I'm who they test, like we playing chess.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Snapdragon Pro Series. This is Free Fire day number 2. We're now running to our last group now, which is going to be Group B and D. My name is Victor Cax. Joining me here is the one and only Mustachio. We're going to be your commentators. We run through these next 2 matches in Bermuda and Kalahari. So now that Group B is finally coming in the fold here, who's going to be the ones we're going to watch out this time around?
I mean, Group B, Group D, all I can think of is the word bad. It's either we're going to see some really bad plays or some really, really bad plays, but bad in a good way, okay? It's so good, but it's bad for some of the teams who get eliminated a little bit too early. Because I'm telling you what, right? It's between Group B and Group D, and a majority of these teams are on the right-hand side of the overall leaderboard. And speaking of the overall leaderboard, let's take a quick look at the standings and see exactly how these teams fare. Because down at the very bottom, as you can see, 11th and 12th spot, Expand and Bloody Heads. These are the 2 teams out of Group B and D that are doing the best so far. And if they do manage to really hustle up, get about 30, 40 points, they can throw themselves back into the top 5. But as for the rest of the teams within Group B and D, they seem to be struggling just a little bit now.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's a consequence of the way these groups are set up, right? I mean, Group A was absolutely stacked, so that really leaves the rest of it to try to fight it out in these other groups. But now that Group B is finally having a chance to get out onto the field here, I'm going to be expecting to see see whether or not Expand and Bloody Heads will be able to live up to that promise that they've shown before in day number 1. Team Juke as well, you know, they've bumped down to the second page now, but they're still in the top spot there alongside NC, so they also may have a good chance of coming back here, especially Team Juke, you know, making the most of the luck that they had in that round, which allowed them to get the booyah. Let's see whether or not they'll be able to keep this up as we go on.
Let's take a look at the lineup of teams here from Group B. Warlords, K9 Esports, Paragon Spartans, RSX KTP, Bloody Heads, as well as Expand, which makes Group B the better group in comparison to Group D, because Bloody Heads and Expand are leading the fray.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, Team Juke right now is on top of Group D thanks to that booyah and the amount of kills they managed to get, you know, so far in this competition. But now they're going to be up against very, very strong squads here in this B squad. Let's see whether or not they'll be able to stay ahead of teams like Freedom Rumble, teams like NC, and the both ORV squads. So far, they've been providing quite a challenge here for Team Juke. Yesterday, we didn't really see much of them, but now it seems like they have an opportunity here and they need to seize the occasion.
3 teams that we are keeping our eyes on. Number 1 is sure as heck Freedom Rumble, because we expected them to rumble quite a lot because they carry a big brand, but it's a whole new lineup and they haven't been able to find their rhythm in the competition just yet. Juke, on the other hand, have got 1 booyah to their name, just like Expand, and both of these teams are doing quite decently in the competition. Juke is just 4 points from breaking into the top 12, and since all 3 of these teams, since the team of Expand as well as the one and only Juke are having 2 final games of the day, that's a lot of opportunities available to jump right back into the fray.
Exactly. I mean, I was also quite surprised now that I actually got to see Juke's own logo. They literally use clip art, literally Microsoft clip art in their logo there. So, well, I mean, shout out to them for you know, using that as their official logo here. But certainly, they've definitely impressed us in that last match there, where they managed to get the booyah. But it's mostly, you can also argue that it was a matter of circumstances for them. Naturally, where they landed wasn't the most tight of battles that they had to face before they got their final circle, but it also speaks to their strength as a squad that they were able to use that opportunity to really bring a lot more value once they got to the final round. Expand, this is going to be a team that we really need to keep an eye on, especially now, because this is going to be their chance to get themselves up into that top 5. They really want to be able to get up there. Too Fast, Cobra, the Axel, X-Roy, these are powerhouse players here in the lineup of Expand, so really want to see them actually come into form here.
Yeah, yesterday was pretty crappy in terms of performance for the side of Expand, but today's the day to prove themselves. Today's the day for them to rise up the leaderboard, but it's quite the big ask for them to hop on into the number 1 spot, because we're talking about around 60-ish points out of Expand, which means they need to hit more than 30 every single round. For the final 2 rounds, they need a 30 and a 30. They need a double booyah for themselves, and they need to go ham against all of the other teams, which is asking for a lot. But once again, they are one of 2 teams that are the best out of this group.
Yeah, they're on par with teams like AV Radicals, like Farang. You know, they've been toe-to-toe against each other throughout the entirety of MCP, so that's why they came into this competition very, very highly rated. So the thing is that, you know, yesterday they did have communication issues, because they were the ones with communication issues. So hopefully this time around they've sorted all those out, that we're able to fight, you know, at full strength here without any sort of nagging issues that are going to be potentially handicapping them this time around. So again, it's going to be a bit of a climb, definitely, because like right now with Auto Knockout having 110 points, that's insane, you know, to think about.
It is.
Yeah, the way they managed to climb up that far.
I mean, it's absolutely crazy, but we've got all of the teams that we're keeping our eyes on. We've got the teams that we've highlighted already, but we want to hear your thoughts as well. Who do you predict to dominate the final 2 matches? Is it going to be Bloody Heads? Is it going to be the players of Expand? Or do you have another team in mind? Let us know in the Twitch chat. Hop on over and tell us exactly what your match prediction is.
Yeah, hopefully you'll be able to predict a little bit better than some of us here on the panel. I mean, classic commentator's curse is definitely a thing, you know, sometimes. And so the best laid plans of mice and men sometimes go a little bit awry. try. But nevertheless, plans are going to be in play here when it comes to Bermuda. It's going to be the first one here to see Group B come into action. I mean, they're definitely sitting on the sidelines, you know, for the entirety of today.
Yeah.
Now it's going to be their chance to dip their toes into this action, and let's see how will they climb up in the leaderboards.
Yeah, we're waiting patiently to see exactly what the action is going to be like. I mean, the storyline that we are kind of leading the broadcast into was to see exactly where AKO stands. Now, the question is, where does Expand stand after day number 2? This is match number 5. We open things up at Bermuda between groups B as well as D. And Expand seems to be straying away straight towards Peak, and NC, the closest one towards them, will be taking their drop pretty close to them, but at Pochinok.
Yeah, they're going to go ahead and try to get that. I mean, Pochinok is still a really good place to try to get some farm, but you can already see Expand just trying to stay the claim over Peak very early on, and that's going to land them somewhere close to where NC is at the moment. So that might be a potential for a bit of a knock-up once they actually end up encountering each other. In the meantime, ORV, both ORV squads actually just land on top of each other on Rimnam Village, so this could be potentially a fight between two sister teams here, so not quite the ideal situation. Ideally, they want to be able to split up so that they can actually get kills on the other squads here, but nevertheless, it's still, when your competitor is still a competitor, whether or not you're from the same clan anyway, so, you know, you're just gonna have to fight it out, see who's the better one.
Onitz circling around, Freedom Rumble stepping on in, but through the time turner, Onitz just a little too premature in terms of the engagement. Tackler down on the ground, and he goes in for the spray. Kai taken out of the equation. Onitz great approach, but now he turns around Danny, but it's a 2v1 and Shami drops him. Unfortunate for Onitz, but they still do have one saving grace, which is the survival of Paul, the final player on the side of Warlords, but no revival platform, nor buy points for him to purchase his team members back.
Yeah, such a shame that the time turner broke that quickly there. If it is held up a little bit, maybe they might be able to survive, but Fiercely in the meantime quickly doing good work to just take out the Jamis right there. Wogana now getting a knockdown as well. Now he's going to try his very best to hold on to position here. In Mars Electric, they have the man advantage. Everybody left on alert, and Kai gets caught out as well. So that's eliminations all around here. 3 now for Bloody Heads.
And Freedom Rumble says, thank you very much, but we are gone. They back away. Final survivor, Jump 9. Earlier on, he got brought back, revived by his team members. Now he's got the great objective here, which is to bring back the rest of his team members and survive through that. RV, just a stone's throw away from him at Factory, might be able to hop on in and say hello.
Paul also taking the safe route by going all the way to the edge of the map there on Sentosa to revive the rest of his squad and hopefully be able to get some loot to boot as well. ORV in the meantime looks like it's going to be the Tyrants that gets taken out here as ORV X-Men are proving themselves to be the better of the 2 ORV squads at the moment, though they do lose Jabat Kids in the meantime, though it's still looking very, very much ORV's game now as they proceed on here. 12th place, only the best that ORV Tyrants could do.
Yeah, ORV Tyrants, they seem to be the strategy that they're going for. In fact, they peel away. They're moving towards the outskirts of Katulistiwa. But Jump 9, this is the end.
Oh no, this is probably going to be the end because Bloody Heads has him down the right. But the thing is, he does have to revive. He does have the rest of the team revived anyway, so he could afford to try to keep them delayed by allowing them to continue chasing him. He's going to try to hold his ground there with the Chrono Spear being brought out. Jump 9 now jumps in front and unfortunately gets knocked down, but job is done in his case though because the rest of his squad manages to get away without too much damage done. So in the grand scheme of things, FRU is still in play.
Jump 9 with just that one maneuver managed to buy enough time for the full revival of his squad, and therefore he has paid his debt back in full. He got revived, now he brought the rest of his team members back in. It's now their turn. But if you keep this back and forth revival going on, when are you going to loot for yourself for that final circle?
Exactly. I mean, again, it's just going to be time wasted when you get eliminated like that. But nevertheless, for FRU, at least they're just keeping themselves alive to hopefully maybe gain back some of that value later on in this game. That still remains to be seen, though. In the meantime, RV are going to be taking control over Rimnam's village's northeastern side, and that might gatekeep ORV X-Men at the moment because they're still outside the safe zone here. One of the members managed to get the jump pad into the middle there, so hopefully be able to set up a flank and maybe spot out some of the members of Northgate RV. But at the at this moment, though, it's not quite a good position for them because they're out on the docks. Not exactly a good place to cover. And you can already see RV's Sia already keeping his eyes peeled onto them, forcing out the glue walls now. They're going to be assaulting ORV here because they know they have them gate kept with the blue zone right up, closing in on that village. Now it's going to be completely swallowing up the docks here, and that's going to be a really high time here for ORV to figure out how to get out of this mess right now because RV has a high ground. They have the safe zone behind them. ORV has to either figure out a way to wrap around or just maybe confront them in the attack.
ORV makes the right decision here. They back away. They don't want to have anything to do with no escape RV, who have got that high ground advantage. In the place of ORV, on the other hand, they had the high to loot zone. Now all they have is a spot to survive outside of the circle, which means time is running out for the team. There is one team member, though, that can flank around from the back or back away as a whole and just play the game of revival. But doing so would waste all of the early efforts to hit that high tier loot zone.
Exactly, and even more so by staying under the blue zone, that definitely means they're going to be burning most of their healing items here, and that's going to be bad news here for ORV because not only they had to use that in the battle against their sister team, but now they're going to have to burn it by staying out of blue zone a little bit longer than they needed to. Be hit Morgana finds member FRU Shamis, and he does knock him down completely, and now Bloodyheads gets the kill lead here. A good set of battles here, now setting themselves up for a lot of points now in this round here. How many other teams are going to be wandering into the zone here, because we do see Warlords also trying to go for a bit of a wraparound as Tacular comes in from the blue zone. Now it's going to be right up in the southern side. He's going to be sponsored by the rest of Bloodyheads, who just continually pound onto him, but the rest of the Warlords are also being suppressing fire from the tower side. Invoker now trying to keep Bloodyheads suppressed while he allows the rest of his team to try to flank around here. Paul has already got himself a vehicle here. This could be this could allow them to reposition very rapidly, and they need to be able to get around where Bloodyheads is. Get into the fight right now. Diffusal around the corner there. Rolo is going to be regrouping on the outside, down by the cliffs, giving them a bit of cover. Diffuser going to be spotted out here. Morgana now trying to get a shot on the Invoker. Doesn't quite get a knockdown because the glue walls come out just in time. Paul now is going to try to hold his line, puts up a bomb there, trying to break down the glue wall, while Fiercer goes in front, takes a lot of damage here. He's going to try his very best to dance around the time turner there. The Tacular now out on the outside here. He is using the rock for cover as the Diffusal gets caught out by Onyx, and now Onyx going around here trying to find Fiercer as well. Cannot quite get a knockdown there thanks to the glue wall and the time turner. Now just dancing around here, but Fiercer finally gets knocked down here. Warlord still has not quite full strength in the moment as Paul gets himself eliminated, but nevertheless they are already putting a lot of hurt onto Bloodyheads.
Mark has to get away as quickly as possible, and if they can bring the full squad right back, Bloodyhead will have a bigger opportunity to continue climbing up, or else it's going to be all in the hands of Expand. Remember, once again, Expand as well as Bloodyheads, they are tied at the 11th and 12th spot with 44 points apiece. Bloodyhead going down super early in the 11th place isn't going to fare the team well at all in the final 2 rounds available for them to pick up all of those points. But NC with a great rotation in, but unfortunate for them as they get caught in the process of Paragon. Paragon with a beautiful sprays. NC's Dino hops on inside and sprays Shin on down onto the ground. NC now with the counter attack against Paragon. Paragon trying to get away. Dino gets stuck in a really tight corner with all of those glue walls popped out already. Jim Quest gets a double for that RSX takedown. Paragon just eating bullets on the behalf of the players of NC. Courtesy of NC, player after player, they go down.
Yeah, they go down. Oh, finally, Atsas gets knocked out, so there's now NC is down to 3. But then the thing is, Paragon only has 2 members still running around here. A bomb's gonna be set up, doesn't quite nail down too much damage here. While Dino finished off 1 more member of Paragon there, but nevertheless, Paragon very much in trouble there. Now that, look at that, the Ace is just going very, very aggressively to try to take over the position. Now try to find the last member there. Rain is trying to run away. The shot's coming through. The shot's getting through, and Paragon gets eliminated from the map.
NC is a beast out there on the battlefield. They ran straight into Paragon. Paragon had the advantage in terms of the defensive position held on to first, but NC with the overwhelming mechanical advantage over them. Bloodyhead taken out of the equation just means that Expand can continue to dominate this grouping. They move on into the compound of Juke. Juke was holding on to the revival platform, but that might have just been the biggest mistake. They were trying to gatekeep the rest of the teams, but now Juke in a really tight spot.
I mean, Daemoon is right on top of the nuclear silo there, so he can get some shots from down below. I'm not sure if like Expanse is aware of that at the moment, because that's a really good vantage point that Juke has. Unfortunately, Asta is facing a lot of pressure there because he's alone on the ground as a result, and now he's taking a lot of damage there thanks to Expanse just constantly expanding into his space now. So Daemoon needs to try to do something to distract them, and yeah, it looks like Expanse just peels back there, and Asta is finally out of trouble a little bit, but now it's going to be Daemoon who is in trouble, because even though he's up high there, there's no way down, because once he does, Expand is ready to greet him with lots of guns blazing.
Yeah, Expand making their way into the next circle. I like the strategy. Just make sure you've got the circle, make sure you take control of those defensive positions, and then look for those elimination points. It's just a much safer way to play your game. Warlord loses one player, all thanks to the Axel. Shots from far away with the AWM just way too accurate. Invoker taken down as well. Warlords getting chipped away one after the other. Paul exposes himself just a little bit too fast. Has got the Woodpecker in hand. Goes in for the double shot. Paul really low on HP. Tacular gets caught out in the open as well. But look at this. K9 just beyond the horizon. And Expand is being led straight towards them.
Yeah, they need to try to finish this fight quickly though, because now they have to focus on K9. A bomb is going to be sent in. Doesn't quite do the damage, but then Excel goes in, guns blazing, to try to knock down Tacular. Gets caught out on the outside there. K9 actually is around the corner as well, but they don't have a line of sight at the moment to Expand, so they can afford to try to loot this this corpse really quickly here. But now they're going to have to focus on another attack here, because K9 is in the mix here.
Yeah, Paul, final survivor, stays very quiet, so Warlords will survive a little bit longer. So extra placement points for them potentially, as K9 now is the unfortunate sacrificial goat that has been baited in here by the players of Warlord, leading Expand straight on in. But Juke plays a little bit of distraction. Roy spots the player right up on top. Daemoon now trying to return fire, and they manage to take Juke lay down. Cobra, sharp shooter.
Oh my goodness, fell all the way from the top of the tower to down. I mean, man, that just kind of triggers my vertical a little bit, to be honest. But Daemoon still is up on top there, so he can afford to just hunker down. I don't think he himself has been spotted by any of these squads at the moment, and he can afford to stay there because it's still within the realms of the circle now. But Juke has to play the long game here, unfortunately, because the rest here Expands starting to get some kill points in hand right now. K9, they're going to be finding a member of Juke's landing right into their midst right now, and I think Warlords gets himself eliminated with the last shot onto WL Paul, finishing off the last of the Warlords here. NC now trying to bring an assault here onto K9, as K9 puts up some blue walls to set up a defensive wall here. Set a grenade on top that does some damage onto Aces, forcing him to hold back a little bit on the aggression, but nevertheless NC continues to roll onto Superman, but Superman a little bit faster on the trigger finger. Unfortunately, he does get knocked down though, as Dino gets a double, taking down Superman completely from the mat, and a triple kill here for Aces here. NC now is your kill leader.
Maki, final player left on the side of K9, and he stays super silent, but NC has a pretty big idea as to exactly where he is. They're gonna try to flank around from the left-hand side as well as the right. Maki, it's all about how quiet he can stay, but I really like the strategy of Expand instead of the K9 Esports team, who had the perfect opportunity to rotate in, but instead they wanted those elimination points. What did it get them? It got them eliminated.
Yeah, unfortunately, and this is nothing in the end. No, not a lot of points for them, despite all of that, aggression earlier on. But nevertheless, though, Jazly GG spots a member of Nox No Escape up on top of the rooftop, so he's going to try to keep distracted with the rest of the squad. Assault inside the room here, but Frey's trying to play around the outside here. Glue wall preventing him from being able to use that window now. He's going to try to grab around the side, but he's going to watch out for the rest of ORV, who will continue to try to keep him pressure, try to keep him going around here. He meets up with Sienz, but this is going to be a bit of a tight spot here. Not much cover between here and there. It's now ORV still has got a nice shot there to knock down the Jens. FaZe now moves in. He Glue up, preventing him again. Another one. He gets a kill done there, but Just Kids is inside the room as well. Now he gets him knocked out as well. Well done here by RV, getting that 2 eliminations for now. Now they're going to try to pile in here, and it's getting a bit chaotic, but at the end of the day here, it looks like ORV is losing a little bit, but they still managed to get a knockdown on the CS, and do take him out completely. Triple kill for Shots.
Yeah, Shots the man, just solo holding on to the fort of defense for himself, making sure he plays the game of survival. Cobra down on the ground, looks like he's gonna bleed out. No more recovery for him as Dino collects that kill. Axel drops Dino for taking the kill against his team member, and now it's Expand going up against NC. NC has got no man advantage against them. Axel backs away. NC with a barricade of glue walls, one after the other. Axel has got one of the best CQC guns, goes in for the spray. The MAC-10 just too lethal, up close and personal. Ace drops too fast, and that's a little unfortunate because he's the best CQC player on the side of Expand. It's now Roy and Axel. Cobra out of the equation. Roy and Axel are usually long-range combat specialists, and now they have to take the CQC, but Roy still manages to get Ace. They've got one more to go for. Dino with a good grenade, and all of them going to be pressured by the blue zone. And as they try to run away, RSX is going to be waiting for them inside of the circle.
How in the world is X-Roy surviving this?
Oh!
Player who had just getting taken out too fast with a kill shot using the grenade launcher, and now NC gets himself eliminated with Axel, putting the final shot in with the anti-material rifle. Killing spree here for Axel, but the job is not done. Now they see RXX up on the hillside here. Chicey is going to be spotted out by the tree side. Axel doesn't quite have a good shot here. He's going to be holding back here while he waits for the rest of the team to come in here. X-Man gets himself eliminated with Jim Quest getting the kill done, so now we're down to 3 teams left here. We still have a member of No Escape RV, RSX also in the mix, but No Escape RV loses his last member with Jim Quest being caught out the outside on the danger zone, and now he is out for the count. 2 teams remaining, RSX versus EXP. The Chicey and completely takes down too fast now. Axel and X-Roy. Axel taking a lot of pressure from the flank now. X-Roy coming in, does get a knockdown on Rocks. Happy now moves up, tries to eliminate, and does eliminate too fast. Now Axel and X-Roy, 2 members left, and Happy, the only member left of RSX, still standing for now, holding up behind the glue wall.
1v2. Happy has got no backup. CRC with the grenade launcher to make the biggest of difference has been taken out. Expand focusing on recovery rather than attack. And now that they've got full HP, they go in for the double. And the glue wall melter gets dropped. Happy right between the 2. It's a 1v2. And Expand secures the second booyah for themselves as well. They needed 30 points back to back. And I don't know if they got the 30, but what they surely have managed to do is answer the question. Is Expand going to dominate the final 2 matches? 1 out of 2? Heck yeah.
This town ain't big enough for the 2 of us, and now Expand also picking up the second booyah is certainly bringing a strong reply now towards AKO, aka Auto Knockout. So they're showing that there's still a big threat here in this group. They're certainly showing the performance that we expected out of them from day 1 now. And with this booyah in hand, let's see whether the climb is going to be in play here for Expand.
It's a phenomenal approach by Expand, and it's all about strategy. They are, you know, in Malaysia, there's this term called bapa tanpa otak. You know, you just run into battle and you just go berserk by shooting all around you, spray and pray. That's what they call it in English, but it's not Expand. That's not how they function. It was just pure strategy from the start to the end. And, you know, it was all of those disengagements. When NC decided to stay and take that fight, Expand said, bye-bye, you guys deal with all of this nonsense. We want to look for that circle. And those kind of strategies gets you the booyah at the end of the day.
Indeed, it does. And Expand, I mean, shout out to X-Roy though, like that kind of firefight that he had with the amount of glue walls around. I was just surprised he was able to hold on so long, because any other kind of player would have just get himself knocked down very, very easily, but he was able to dance around those glue walls like a cha-cha dancer practically. You know, just it takes 2 to tango, but he pretty much can solo himself despite being facing a lot of pressure from all around there. So shout out to X-Roy there from Expand.
I'm just curious as to how many total eliminations Expand ended this matchup with. They had 12, 2, so 14 plus 12, that's 26 points. Close to 30, not so bad. 26 plus 44, you're gonna get 70 points, and just like that, Expand should be able to sneak in to that 6th place. That is phenomenal.
Yeah, it certainly is phenomenal. 25 points in total, 13 kills and 12 placement points here. So certainly it's going to help them a lot to get up into the top 5, and top 5 is already the goal here pretty much for Expand, given that they only be able to play 2 maps. Now that 1 is already done, it's certainly on their way there. NC as well, putting themselves up on the board with 16 points there. That's certainly going to be exciting for that squad, because they did pull up a powerhouse of a fight early on in that last circle there. ORV X-Men, you know, after taking out their teammates there, somebody somehow found that confidence to get themselves up into the top 3. So 13 points there, tying them up with no escape RV.
I mean, when you've got a majority of the eliminations kind of, you know, just bagged up by the main teams in there, you're not going to have a lot to go around. Bloodyheads got lucky because they managed to get 6 eliminations onto their side, but where they got a little unlucky was just picking away a single placement point, which is not a lot at all. And look at this, man. This is kind of the supremacy that we want to see out there on the battlefield. 8,000 on the damage, 13 headshots for a total of, what was that, 13 eliminations?
Yeah. Every single elimination was done from headshots as well. I mean, headshot damage, to be fair, and that doesn't necessarily mean that headshots result in directly a kill, but I think that speaks to the accuracy that the players of Expand has. And
it does.
Yeah, and especially with the shots that we saw coming from them, it's certainly impressive.
I mean, they've always been a great team. Once again, the best team in Malaysia right now is called Expand. They're trying to expand their dominance, not just in the official Garena scene, but as well as at the Snapdragon Pro Series. We didn't really see spicy plays from them, but today is where we get to see them hot and ready for action. 25 points from that first game. Now, if they can hit another 25 by the end of this next match, they're going to be in that second spot. And that's a lot of climbing, man. From the 11th place all the way up to 2, you jump 9 positions from 2 games. I'll take that.
Yeah.
But the question is, can they maintain consistency? Can they get the job done once again? The probability is high, looking at the number of teams who are not really on the same level as them.
Yeah, that's the thing, you know, because you expect that some of these teams will be easy pickings here for a team like Span, but you know, the first day has certainly handicapped them a little bit in their journey towards the top of the leaderboard. But now I think this is the perfect opportunity for them to start to catch things up. I mean, now the target, you know, as you mentioned, is about 30 points. They kind of met that with the 25 points that they got in that last round. So at least if they're going to be able to get another 20 plus points in the next round, I say job is already done here for Expand.
I have to agree with you, right? They don't even need a 25. They need like roughly 20. If they can just hit 20 points, they're all Gucci. They'll be in the top 3 guaranteed. But what's the play gonna be here from the side of Expand? Are they going to go ham? Because we saw the record being set by AKO with the 39 points. Mind you, Expand is quite the record setter themselves, but here's the only problem. They're not in their most favorite map. Alpine, Expand obliterates their opponents. Now, when it comes to Bermuda and Kalahari, they may not be the best team, but they're sure as heck one of the better teams out there. And once again, the groupings between B and D just makes it so much more easier for Expand.
Yeah, exactly. And on that note, we're going to be taking a short break, but when we're back, it's going to be the last match of the day now between groups B and D. So stick around, ladies and gentlemen. The Snapdragon Pro Series will come back right after these messages.
The Snapdragon Pro Series is brought to you by Snapdragon Elite Gaming, Monster Energy, and Kachi Shop.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. This is the Snapdragon Pro Series Season 2 Asia Pacific, brought to you by Snapdragon Elite Gaming, when winning matters, as well as Monster Energy, as well as Kachi Shop. My name's AJ. I'm the Mustachio, down here with the one and only Victor Cax, your shoutcasters for the day. And what a day has it been. So many things that we touched on seems to be happening out there on the battlefield. We talked about how nobody's gotten a double booyah so far, and then we got a back-to-back with teams picking up the second booyah of the competition, first with AKO and then with Expand. But now we move on into the final game of the day, where two teams seem to have the greatest opportunity to pick up that booyah, being Bloody Head as well as Expand. But Bloody Head kind of expired a little bit too soon in the previous matchup.
Yeah, I mean, the counter wasn't really that good. In fact, even though they were able to get some good elimination points there, but still, in the grand scheme of things, you do need to be able to make your way to that final circle in order to have a good chance of getting the maximum haul of points.
Yeah.
And with that performance by Expand, look at that, just a stone's throw away from Axis Esports. There's 69 points to 71, 2 points away from getting into that top 5. So I'll say the Expand very much on the up and up.
And it's very possible for them to pick up a minimum of 20 points next, unless something goes really wrong for Expand, right? Because once again, they are hands down the strongest team between these two groups right now. So, which is why it was pretty decently easy for them to pick up the booyah earlier on. So earlier on in the day, it was a focus on to see whether auto knockout was good enough to face up against Group A. And now the story is just going to be about Expand, whether or not they're going to be able to sneak into that second spot, because now with just 20 points on a minimum to their side, gives them 89 points. That's 3 points better than Tactical Intex in that second place. And just like that, they'll be in the running for the #1 spot.
Indeed. And speaking about that #1 spot, it gives bear in mind this little fact here about why we put so much emphasis on the kill points. Kill points alone for auto knockout is already the same amount of points that Expand has in total.
Yeah.
So, it's still going to be quite an uphill climb for them, to be fair. But, it just goes to show that aggression really does bring massive rewards there for these teams here.
It does. It most definitely does. But also, AV Radicals pose as quite the big warning for a lot of teams out there who want to get super aggressive, but also might get kicked out of the lobby a little bit too early, right? Because although AV Radicals is one of the better teams out there in comparison with a lot of other of the squads, they haven't been able to climb up the leaderboard as easily as what we expected them to do, because all of that aggression sometimes meets up very early and in these rounds.
Yeah, that's the thing. For AV Radicals themselves, they definitely have to examine why exactly that happened, but it's also not quite out of the realm of possibility that they're using this competition as a way to kind of test alternative strategies. So maybe that might be what happens for them in game #1. Certainly, it was a very abysmal performance for them in the first day itself, but now they already starting to come back. They already recognize that, okay, there's some of these squads here that we really have to pay attention to. So now they already stepped up. Now they're stepping up the game here in day #2, and that's actually bad news, I would say, for the rest of the squads here, because that means a lot of it's going to be very hard from this point on to keep them all the way down.
Yeah, I agree, right? And although AV Radicals did bomb out one too many times, a little prematurely, it shows how good of a team they are, because they're still in the 3rd spot at the end of the day. But of course, on that note, let's hop on into the final matchup of the day between groups B as well as D. We hear a couple of gunshots, which means early first blood. ORV dropped like they hot, and Freedom Rumble picks up the first one.
Yeah, first one there for them, but ORV not quite out of the woods yet, though. They're stuck on the first floor, and FRU has control over the shipwreck's bottom side, so it's going to be a matter of time before they start to bring an assault upstairs. But in the meantime, Jump9 just holding position. Jasly still up on top. They're trying to find a way to get out of this little quandary that the ORV seem to have found themselves into, sneaking up under the fallen over timber here on the shipwreck. I mean, it's a very unique kind of battleground here because of not only the verticality, but the really odd sort of structures around it provides not only cover, but even potential ways to work around. Some teams I've noticed have really taken advantage of shipwreck by literally walking around the edges. So I wonder if ORV will be using a strat, but Shami is in the meantime getting himself up on the high ground there, and that's putting some pressure on ORV to meet this challenge here, because look at that, he's going to be able to keep pot shots onto them, keeping them suppressed. But the thing is, the rest of his squad needs to try to move up onto that first floor now to keep the pressure going on ORV.
Smart plays from both sides. Players on the side of Freedom Rumble not getting aggressive just yet. They're waiting for their opportunity. They're just waiting for ORV to run straight into their crosshairs. Kai manages to chip away at a couple of shots at Jabat, and it looks like Jabat Kids will just be teased by the glue wall. Melter goes in for the down. Kai backs away. Double revolver play goes up against an assault rifle. Assault rifle goes down.
Yeah, it goes down. Yan's gonna be caught behind the bar there. No drinks served there as he does get a knockdown in response, but unfortunately, without any support from the rest of the squad, ORV X-Men, the first squad to be eliminated on the final match for today.
Freedom Rumble smiling here in the air. A lot of action still continues out there in the battlefield. Paragon, one player down and out of the equation already. Another trying their best to recover. Santa Catarina taken over by Freedom Rumble, and they lead the lobby with 4 eliminations so far. One team taken out of the equation. ORV just a little unfortunate with how all of that broke down, but Expand aiming for those 20 points. They take the hit straight into Command Post, and Command Post is usually the drop spot here for Expand. They managed to steal that away from Bloody Head and make it their own home. The Blue Circle searched for them. Even the game wants Expand to get those points.
I'm assuming that the flight path was a bit more southwards because Shrines, Bayfront, Council Hall, Confinement are all good loot zones and just completely unoccupied at this point. So most of the teams very much focus on that southern side. So the RSX, of course, is going to be caught up in the middle here. I think a member of ORV Tyrants is going to be spotting them here as Voidface a little bit too close for comfort here to RSX, as he definitely had been spotted at some point now, because we see Rods trying to get a good position here to spot out Voidface. He does see a hit pick out there, so he's already sending a bomb straight to his face there. Voidface is able to dodge out of the damage there, so no damage done whatsoever, but it's going to flush him out a little bit. Rods trying to get some shots, but unfortunately has to peel away here to try to get a better position to shoot at him from up top.
I really don't like the setup here for Voidface. The rest of his team members just a little bit too far, and they are in potential spots to get into an engagement as well. Paragon, on the other hand, already getting squeezed, and I don't think he would like the result. This orange juice might just leave Twix all alone, lonely out there on the battlefield to play the game of survival and bring the rest of his team members right back in already. 11 more HP, and he saved himself. 6 medkits, a lot to work around with here, but the glue walls are running down.
It literally ran out already for him, and the last glue wall was placed in a very unfortunate position there, so he had to quickly rush down. Unfortunately, he was able to get there in time, but no, unfortunately, Cat Killer Warlords were circling around there when they spotted that member Paragons. They do get a kill done onto Orbe Rectacular, getting the Skell-tacular right there, and now RSX finding another member around the outside is going to go ahead and get some shots done, but ORV is also in the same area now, and RSX is facing a bit of trouble. Happy does get a knockdown, but now he's going to be facing a lot of pressure from Seiya, moving down to try to rescue his teammate. Happy was up. Oh, very low on health there. Tries to get a knockdown, but unfortunately pays for it with his own life. Now ORV still has squads around there, but unfortunately it looks like the rest of RSX has peeled away. No more kills going to be conceded here as ORV has control over Foundation.
RSX, 2 zip lines that can lead him onto the either side of Refinery. It's all about what sort of a decision he makes. Does he take this very risky play as the final survivor? He needs to look for one of those revival points. K9 Esports, on the other hand, already at the revival point, trying to bring back the rest of his team members, but being surrounded one after the other by the players of both NC and Bloody Head. K9, what will be the result here as he gets eliminated? There is no chance for the rest of the team members to make their way back in, but NC, they took the kill, but can they deal with Bloody Head?
Yeah, Bloody Head still have full strength right now, but they bring in the kills. Fiersu taken out immediately. Mark does get a knockdown out of Asa as he tries to stabilize this fight at the moment up on the top side. Mark is going to be caught a little bit on the outside. He does have a blue wall for cover and a tree as well, and that's keeping shots from Nuffiz from being able to by a grenade. Morgan getting Fata Morgana fooling in the bombs right into him, and that puts him down now. Bloody Head seems to have the upper hand at this point now as NC losing members faster than I could count right now. Dino, last man standing, not a lot of health left on his head. Morgana moving up in top. He gets shot there. Defusal gets taken down, and Dino gets taken down a notch as well. NC eliminated. 10th place is the best it can do.
Bloody Head, what a play. I mean, that was just a little too premature for the team, but NC, they rushed in, they picked on the kill that Bloody Head was looking out for, so, I mean, that's just pure revenge from Bloody Head. You needed to see that coming, man. NC, on the other hand, though, a little unfortunate with the way they bombed out based on the performance from yesterday, we thought they had a lot of chances to continue climbing up on that leaderboard. But today hasn't been NC's day.
No, has not been. I mean, we thought it would be able to see some sort of consistency, but at least in the rounds that they did manage to get points, they do haul in quite a bit. Last round, if I remember right, they managed to get 16 points, so hopefully they'll keep them at least on top of that second page of the leaderboard, but still, it's still 12th spot is the main target for them, and now that they've been eliminated this early on, no more chance for them to climb back up here as we watch Juke, who have already gotten on Refinery, which right now is being bombarded by the danger zone, so no one's going to be able to take control of that site anytime soon. But Juke is certainly thinking about that plan to try to, you know, cheese their way to that final circle as they did in the round that got them to Booyah, because it seems to be the strategy that worked out for them. But can they make Lightning strike twice?
Lightning does strike twice. Question is, does it strike the same exact spot twice? Expand. They ride in very flashily, but Escape wants no part of them, and Too Fast just blazes past all of them, straight past the players of Juke as well. Expand playing this very cheekily. I do not like this very risky play, and that's what you get you, man. Axel down, Cobra down, No Escape RE now punishing Expand for being cheeky.
Yeah, and CN's going to be chasing him even though his level is below, but they have X-Roy completely caught up here. He has nowhere to go here. He's completely surrounded on all sides. Faye's going to come around the side, tries to get a shot. Unfortunately, he doesn't quite nail it down. X-Roy now forced to burn his glue walls. He still has force, so he's going to be able to block out his container, but how long can he hold out, though? He's going to try to hold on, but Faye's, oh, a little bit of a gap there, and that's enough to get a knockdown into X-Roy. So already Expanse losing quite a bit here with their members. Not quite eliminated yet, though. They can still potentially come back as Too Fast managed to make his way to the revival point.
Yeah, revival point. Too Fast. This is the captain trying to bring the rest of his buddies right back into the mix, and it looks like nobody else is at command post to take him out of the equation, and therefore Expand continues to survive. Not a single elimination to their name just yet. They need 20 points to secure that second spot. I mean, if they go for the jugular, if they go for a 40-point game right now, that's still not going to be enough to dethrone Auto Knockout. They need 41 points to match up, 42 points to get the #1 spot. And I think that's asking for a little bit too much.
And then again, we're talking about the best squad in Malaysia. So maybe they might have the potential to do so. We'll have to see. But in the meantime, RSX will be facing some pressure from FRU, who are trying to attack them from the lower side here. It's going to be very difficult sort of approach here. There's a reason why high ground is always very much valued in these kind of battle royales, because FRU is going to have a bit of a climb here in order to try to get up. But they do have a lot of cover that's working well for them, and now they're going to try to expend their throwables here to hopefully force one of the members of RSX to make mistake here. But RSX holding their cards close to their chest. They're just keeping that distance between themselves and FRU, and that's working out well. But unfortunately, Chassis is going to be spotted by Kai, who is going to be taking this box here to try to get some extra loot while RSX tries to be away. Oh, Chassis gets caught up. He gets eliminated. Rod's is going to be caught up as well. He's taking a lot of damage there, even though he has the AC-80. There's not going to be much room for him to use his teammates to come in to help him out, as FaZe and Happy are going to try to wrap around here to keep a flank open here onto FRU to hopefully allow Rod ZZ to be able to bring out his sniper rifle. But now he needs to find some targets here in order to suppress FRU's assault right now. And FRU, they're just going to be using this cover at this point, so it's going to be a bit hard. Now Danny's going to try to jump up into the Happy here, who's up on the first floor. Kai around the outside. He's going to try to keep him suppressed all around the side. Danny's up on top, but then Fast is right across the street there, and he is unfortunately taken down by Voidface. ORV getting into the mix of this fight here. Oh boy, this is actually looking a little bit bad now for them, because FRU still has full strength, and now they have one member of RSS completely locked up in that first floor. I don't think Happy is going to be long for this world.
Yeah, Happy's not going to be happy for much longer. Has got the Vector in hand inside of the time turner. Danny says hello and says goodbye immediately right after. Happy out of the equation, and RSX continues to suffer. ORV on the other hand, they've got Roy down on the ground, but Team Expand is not out of the equation just yet. Just revived by their captain Too Fast, but immediately into the hands of the other teams. And this is the problem when you are going to get revived this late into the game. There's very few spots that are untouched, and you are going to have that probability of dropping dead smack in the middle of another team.
Ooh, that's a huge hit there, but it's a this match bring it back home, gets elimination done. So that's one team, another team eliminated right now as ORV takes control over the building. FRU gets themselves back up to full strength. Now they're going to be bringing a second assault on the same location. This time around, it's going to be ORV holding the spot here as FRU going for round number 2 now. Can they make this work out better for them than they did the last time they went out against RSX?
And see, the last time we checked on the overall leaderboard, they were in the 12th spot, so I guess that's objective well accomplished to get into the top 12. But obviously, you don't want to be sitting down in the 12th spot when you're aiming for the top 12. You want to be in a better position because, you know, things might happen out there on the battlefield that allows the other teams to just very easily climb up and replace you and kick you right down into the bottom 12. Expand still surviving with 2 more members. Their captain has gotten taken out already. The sacrifice that he made for the team a little bit earlier on seems to have been futile as the team members jump right back in, but to no available spots to bring back the rest of their team members. Now Expand just needs to play possum. Twix taken down and Voidface with a perfect headshot from up close personal. Twix had no chance whatsoever. Shinon will back away. Paragon with the 3 eliminations so far. They have to deal with the raging Freedom Rumble.
Yeah, Jukes they already got themselves into the middle of the circle here, along with Warlords. And right now, the next circle actually favors Warlords a lot more, and they do have zip lines in order to try to get engaged into other battles, but I think they're going to hunker down there and let the other guys just fight it out right now and then deal with the survivors at the end of this round. And speaking of which, though, FRU regains control over this house now, forcing ORV out of there. Only 1 member of ORV seems to be on the map right now, so this is actually really bad news for ORV at this stage of the game now. FRU still has full squad. Paragon now trying to see if they can spot out members of Expand who have been just lurking around there. They already taken down X-Roy as well as Too Fast, Cobra, and the Axel, the last 2 people I can see right now as Bloodhouse now makes their way to the safe zone, coming from the flank. Looks like they may be meeting Warzone very, very soon as Sia going to be coming in on the top side here to hopefully spot out Diffusal, as Diffusal now taking a bit of damage here from Phrase, getting some shots as Voidface does get some kills there on his hand there, so at least he does get something done. A triple kill there for Voidface. Is now trying to keep Diffuser alive a little bit. Right now, it's the rest of his squad tries to come in here to get try to get things stabilized here, but with RV just storming the front right now, aggressively taking over this position. I think Bloody Head losing a lot here. Morgana almost getting knocked down from a distance there by Jim Quest, but now the safe zone is shrinking here, and I think RV is going to be caught out on the lurch here if they don't make a move right now. And unfortunately, a lot of squads has their sights very much trained on them.
Yeah, it's safe to assume that Expand's not going to be picking up those 20 points. Fiersu backs away, and Freedom Rumble still on fire. Talent elimination so far. They want to bag out the players of Paragon. They've got their eyes on Duke as well, who have got the circle. Paragon can be gate kept here, but Freedom Rumble has got no information on them whatsoever. Danny, AWM in hand, still looking at the players of Duke from over his blue wall. The players of Warlords can place that pressure on them a little bit as well, as Paragon runs into the circle. Danny takes out the final player. Ganza out of the equation. Just more kill points for the players of Freedom Rumble. The Axel still playing the game of survival, maybe looking for some placement points. That's not going to be a lot, but it's going to be enough to keep them safe in the top 12.
Yeah, his last member left, but the thing is, Warlord's having the best position right now in this circle, literally right in the middle on the high ground. They can afford to keep picking pot shots against the other teams trying to take over the position. FRU caught around the edge of the circle there. Invoker trying to keep Danny's complete suppressed, tries to get a shot, not really landing too much there. FRU, unfortunately, is still going to be going in straight onto Invoker now, getting the knockdown done onto him. A killing spree for RV Raze as he does get the knockdown done and dusted there. Tacular trying to stabilize this position here for Warlords because they're now having control over this platform, burning out all of the glue walls right now to keep some good cover and to try to gatekeep RV from being able to take over this position. But Jump9 is also up here on the platform, and he's now trying to take over Warlords. A nice shot there. The Axel actually taking up his gets a kill point as well, taking down Shamis. So he's not quite out for the count yet. He's still in the game.
Yeah, behind the boulder though, he needs to make his way in front, and I cannot bloody understand exactly how he survived that long. Axel finally out of the equation. Freedom Rumble follows up. Warlord still alive. What is going on in this final battle? All of the Titans have been dropped. Juke, Dax Cutie from the back managed to go in for a sneak. Damon with a double nade. Warlord still gets eliminated as Juke attacks from the back. Unsuspecting assassins, and now no escape RV, final survivor, but there's no way he's gonna get this booyah. The game of numbers on the side of Juke, and Juke gets yet another booyah for themselves. They start the day and they end the day. A double booyah for Juke.
Who'd have thought Juke would be the third team here to get the double booyah? And I have to admit, very, very cheeky plays here that Team Juke has done, you know, in the last map, as well as this one here, you know, holding out until the last possible moment, but it worked out. It worked out so well, and Juke can certainly savor this victory.
I mean, it's the perfect start and the perfect closing for the day as far as Juke is concerned. Juke, the last time we looked at the overall leaderboard, had 45 points to their name, a single booyah in the 14th place. Now, at a minimum, this should be able to launch them into the top 10. Juke has to be super proud of their own achievement.
Yeah, they have to be. I mean, you can already see the elation in their faces there. I mean, third squad in this competition so far to get the booyah. Well done, guys. Well done. I mean, again, admittedly, very cheeky the way they play. I mean, again, stays out of trouble for most of the early to mid game. Is only the last circle that you saw to finally to jump into that fight that has been going on for, I think, like 3 to 5 minutes. Like, it was just non-stop shooting. It was holding on their Warlords. I mean, yeah, again, very amazed at how they were able to stay alive for that long there. And the fact is that they held out the assault from FRU and from Bloody Heads as well. This was incredible here from Warlords. I mean, a bit of luck as well that they could control the platform very early on, but they knew that this was a setup that would allow them to get the maximum amount of placement points.
And Xians was the final player on the side of No Escape RV, and he put the end to expand. Axel taken out of the equation, allowed Juke to really go in for that final attack, right? And what makes the victory of Juke so much more impressive was the fact that they did not have the higher ground advantage on that platform. They were on the lower ground. They made their way up towards those final moments. 20 points on the side of Juke not only launches them into the top 10, brother, it's launched them into the top 5.
Wow, amazing journey here for Team Juke.
Okay, maybe not the top 5, maybe the top 8.
Okay, we'll have to see. The overall standings will be shown up later on, but what's definitely certain here is that Team Juke is another challenger coming into the group here. Group D right now is being led by Tay themselves, and they're certainly putting a splash right now in this final round, going total 20 points. That's amazing here for Team Juke.
Expand couldn't really sneak into the second spot, but at least a consolation prize for them. They are now officially in the top 5 with the 8 points that they've picked up. The last time we did take a quick peek in there, they were just a stone's throw away from Axis Esports. They needed 2 points to overtake that position. So in a certain way, this is still a success for Expand, but not just a big enough success for us to scream a lot about them. Paragon did a great job. They picked up a decent number of eliminations. Placement points were decent as well for an overall 7 points. The points were distributed quite evenly across the board, I guess, in terms of domination for some of the teams who took the initiative. But down at the bottom, 0 points for 2 teams. But Juke, look at the efficiency here. 3,000 damage, just 3 headshots, but a booyah. That's all that matters.
Yeah, I mean, for them especially, I mean, that's why I talk about like the variance or like the flexibility and strategies that are allowed in this game of Free Fire. Is that, you know, there's some teams that be hyper aggressive. There are also teams that can be playing very cheeky, chill and cheeky indeed. And Team Juke, they chose a cheeky route, and it's worked out well for them. 2 booyahs, and now I think potentially up there somewhere in that board. Not sure it's going to be top 5 or top 10, but it's certainly going to be a result that Team Juke would be very happy with, especially when we're going on to day number 3.
And this proves that it is strategy over mechanical capability, and you really have to think through all of your moves. You can't be a great team like Expand, rush into battles and get taken out of the equation. You can be a team like Juke, not a huge threat, but the strategy played well gets you that booyah and gets you up the overall leaderboard. And yes, I talked about the top 8. Team Juke in that 8th spot, 65 points to their name. That's decent. Expand picks up that 5th place for themselves. And Bloody Heads, we saw them at the 12th spot. They stick to their 12th spot. I don't know if you can be very happy with that.
That's the thing. So in any case, right, the way I look at it as well is that Expand still has quite a bit of work to be done in the coming days here in this group stage, because no doubt the first day disappointment has handicapped their performance here, because if they actually did well in that first day, they would definitely be fighting amongst Tactical Index, AV Radicals for that third, the top 3 here. So yeah, a bit unfortunate for them, but nevertheless, good recovery effort for them so far, getting themselves shooting up. I think they were in the second page at the start of the day, going all the way up to the 5th spot right now. This is a very, very impressive climb.
It's unfortunate that Expand's not able to dominate, but at the end of the day, there's not really a reward for those who dominate the competition. You are only looking for the top 12 spots to make it to the regional qualifiers. So by that standard, Expand has done a lot for themselves on the second day of play. By the end of the 4 days of this group stage, you just want to make sure you're in the top 12 and you're all Gucci.
Hey, exactly. Gucci. My Mamuchi. We'll see how it goes on here, but you know, safe to say though, I'm very much impressed at the plays being done here by this Group D, because you know we've focused so much on Group A. You know that I kind of feel bad for the other teams there, because they definitely are playing their hearts out day after day here in this Snapdragon Pro Series, and you know, finally to see Team Juke actually use strategy to their advantage and actually manage to get themselves 2 booyahs. I mean, that's certainly encouraging, I think, for especially squads that are a little bit new to the competition here.
That's
who
correct.
Are looking to, you know, looking at inspiration on how, you know, to handle big tournaments like this. You know, Team Juke shows that you know, brains can still win over brawn.
Let's take a look at tomorrow's schedule and see exactly what sort of action you guys can expect. We've shaken things up over the past 2 days in terms of the groupings that have been meeting up with each other. But now we hit the reset on the groups, but we move it into 2 different maps totally. No more Bermuda, no more Kalahari. Now it is the gameplay of Purgatory and Alpine. And I can tell you, AV Radicals as well as Expand, they know their way around Alpine. But there's another team who's waiting to pop off. That's Farang. They are monsters on this map.
Yeah, I mean, it's a newer map in this pool here. It is natural that the stronger teams will put a lot more focus on these maps here, so that they will have that advantage that other teams wouldn't have necessarily coming in this one. So it's going to be very interesting coming into this one, because it's going to be a completely different battleground. Your strategies may have to adjust a little bit to accommodate this new battleground. Loots as well, you're going to have different drop points and different areas that you really want to focus on here. So it's going to be fantastic for these squads here, and that's a challenge that we really want to bring to our squads here in the Snapdragon Pro Series.
Tomorrow is pretty much a great big reset, because yes, it's the exact same teams, but just like you pointed out already, Victor, it is a brand new map, which means you don't know the drop spots. Even though some of the bigger teams have been in participation in recent tournaments, you don't know if or not they're going to occupy the exact same drop spot. What if they've managed to change that around already? So there's no assuming. If you assume, you might just make a great big mistake. Tomorrow is where they will have to reassess the situation. But you know, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, all of this crazy action in here today is because of 3 main sponsors. We've got Snapdragon Elite Gaming. When gaming matters, you want to pick them up alongside Monster Energy. They've been fueling us shoutcasters as well as all of the players out there on the battlefield throughout the whole competition so far.
Yeah, and of course, if you are running low on your credits, check out kachishops.com/my. They provide plenty of deals, plenty of steals, and maybe even some discounts to go into the mix as well. Check them out for all your favorite mobile games there. So, in any case, this is the end of the day right now. It's been a pleasure joining us in this journey right now. Thank you all so much for watching here, especially all of you who have started the day together with us here. So, from us here, my name is Victor Cax. Here is Mustachio. We'll see you again next time here at the Snapdragon Pro Series. But until then, good night and good luck.
The Snapdragon Pro Series is brought to you by Snapdragon Elite Gaming, Monster Energy, and Kachi Shop. The Snapdragon Pro Series is brought to you by Snapdragon Elite Gaming, Monster Energy, and Kachi Shop.
Till a player on top, know it. Rooftop, penthouse suite. If you really want it, gotta own it. Fight through it, we was at the lowest. Blood, sweat, tears, the components. Riding all year, now's the moment. We are not friends, we are opponents. Yeah, I'm coming for mine. Yeah, I'm making a play, the game on the line. Yeah, I've been on the grind. Yeah, I jump in the spot, I made it my time. Yeah, look in the sky. Yeah, the stars align, no shade to shine. Can't stop it already. Emotional, working devotion. We put in this time. Look, you won't stop.